orí adé tọmọdé tàgbà ní dáríjọ tí bọ̀gún àràbà bó bá ti di lọ́dọọdún ayé àmọ́ dáríjọ wá pínrẹ fún yín ní orí adé ó bàbá mi àgbógbógbó fèwú sókè kò sí ohun tí ó sọ bá ẹ ní kú mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ àwa máa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni o àwa máa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni àwa máa forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni o àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni ẹ̀yin lẹ́mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni ẹ̀yin lẹ́mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni ẹ̀yin lẹ́mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni. Kábíyèsí o.
Ta ló dàbí rẹ̀ nínú gbogbo alágbára láyé ta ló dàbí rẹ̀ Olúwa ta ló dàbí rẹ̀. Dàbí rẹ̀ ta ló dàbí rẹ̀ nínú gbogbo alágbára láyé ta ló dàbí rẹ̀ Olúwa ta ló dàbí rẹ̀. sùn bí ejò òwúrọ̀. Mo ṣèbà Elédùmarè tó láyé lọ́rùn. Àtòrí aláìsùn wọ́n ṣe ni ọba tí ń gbẹ́kọ́ ẹni lódìndín. Ṣé bí wà ló fọ̀rọ̀ dálé ayé o? Kábíyèsí rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni, iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni, iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni ọba mi Áfíríkà.
Thank you. Greetings. Thank you for joining me. And just waiting for people to come on while we get going. Thank you all for joining us. Today we are going to be covering a few topics, including the visa ban on Nigeria. There's no visa ban that is implemented that doesn't hit Nigeria, of course. We are customers now for anything that anybody wants to throw at Africa. So we're going to be covering that. We are also going to be covering the ADC. They are looking to deregister ADC in Nigeria. I don't know how that is supposed to be possible, but I guess some people would like to talk about that. 4 lawmakers in Rivers State of Nigeria seems to have done a U-turn, and I think they want to either impeach or unimpeach Fubara again. So there's been a bit of kind of resurfacing of tensions in Rivers State politics. Rivers State is one of the states of Nigeria, and there is a bit of tension between the governor, the current governor, and the ex-governor, and somehow the president is in the mix. The president is in the mix, dancing in the middle of both of them, and the state is none the wiser. Who is governing the state? I don't know. I don't know who is governing. Maybe I'm governing the state. I don't know. No, there's no governor. They are busy fighting each other like Nigerians do. And I think we are also going to touch on the subject of, Very Dark Man went to Morocco this week, and he said something very interesting, because this is something that anybody with eyes can tell and see in Nigeria and in many Black African countries. He said, look at, all the North African countries, because they are lighter skin, and not because they are lighter skin, but somehow they are lighter skin, but their country seems to be doing relatively well. You don't see rubbish everywhere. They seem to manage their environment better. And he says, why is it that almost all the Black countries is the opposite you see? You go there, you see dirt everywhere, rubbish everywhere. If you don't see rubbish, you see relative underdevelopment, very, very poor states that cannot, you can tell that they have relatively fragile states. Why is that the case? And that's an interesting question he asked. And this touches on some people suggesting that they want Africa to be recolonized, and Nigerians asking for that. And I think that it would be an interesting conversation, because the moment you start saying you want your country to be recolonized, then you truly don't understand the importance of what you are saying. You don't understand the implications of what you are saying at all, especially when you know the people you're asking to do that are capable of almost anything. So, but that said, the spirit of the conversation is not here to divide anyone. And I really hope that when we have our conversations, we try to keep it as civil as possible. There's no need to insult anyone. You should come with a spirit of trying to learn and trying to teach. And I hope other people are also here to try to learn and learn from other people. Just because people don't accept what you have suggested doesn't mean your idea was not honestly brought forward. And I think that's the most important thing. People should be credited from coming up with any ideas. Any idea is welcome here. You're allowed to come and share your opinions, but try to be honest about it. Because when it's coming from a place of honesty, people are more likely to engage with you from that point of view too. And I hope whoever is engaging also keeps that in mind. We are not here to divide people. We are not here to divide races. We are not here to divide religions. We are not here to divide even between rich and poor. We are not here to divide anything. We're here to better ourselves so that societally we are all going to be prospering. Because if you look at the world today, there seems to be a move to try to basically undermine unity, undermine progress, regressive actions are being taken. One of the topics we are covering today is to do with banning some countries from traveling. Do you know this idea of banning people from traveling? It's a new one. We sometimes we forget it that this is relatively new. It's a chain you put on people and you tell them, no, you can't move from this point to this point. People were allowed to move in the past. Nobody stops them. They can move. It's just borders. It depends on where you walk into. If you walk into the wrong person's territory, they might be able to stop you, but it's not always the case that they can stop you. So you can walk freely. But these days, they can tell you are not allowed to leave your country. God knows Africa is the least able. Africans are the least able to travel, especially Black Africans, by the way. I think a very dark man has made that clear that we should barely call North Africa Africa anymore, because they seem to have transcended the issues that have been holding us back, and those issues still remain. So we shouldn't call North Africans Africans anymore. And we that are in the sub-Saharan Africa and Sudan, we still have these issues to deal with, and we just have to try to speak honestly and talk honestly with each other. And I strongly believe, and in many cases, you come up with better solutions. And I thank Revolution Now for coming in. He's saying that he prefers that we should be recolonized. There's nothing. Yeah, I disagree with him strongly, but he's speaking his mind, and I hope he too listens to what other people are saying. And the same thing with all those people that say that Trump should come and take care of our problem for us. And those same people, when I put the image up of us kneeling before Trump, they don't like it. But that is exactly what you are doing. When you bring other people to come and take care of your problem, you have come to beg them. That is what it is. And so we have to always remember that these things, when we are demanding stuff, we are grown up, especially grown ups that have experience. Many of us have traveled. We are not exactly landlocked, and we are not exactly landlocked in some village in Nigeria. Many of us have traveled. We have seen the world. We should understand how the world truly works. What makes those nations stick? Many of us sleep in nations where you make a phone call, security forces will show up within 5 minutes. We live there. How do you think all those things happen? If you fall ill, there will be transportation. This is ambulance to come and take you to hospital very quickly. We live in those countries. All of us. Okay, not all of us. Many of us. Some of us are calling from Nigeria. We should learn to keep that in mind, that, how those people did those things, you want to try to replicate it. Try to copy all aspects of it. Don't pick and just choose. Not all. Sorry, I'm not going to say you should copy all, but copy the part that is relevant to you. But don't do it in a way that when you want to translate it to your country, you use some of that very toxic behavior, very divisive behavior to destroy or hinder that progress. Because some people will say, oh, we need electricity. After all, everybody have electricity. But when they bring electricity to Nigeria, they start playing politics with it. Or they say it has to be in my village. It doesn't. Why do you need it in that industrial town? Because those people don't have political power inside the country. That is the kind of behavior we need to start setting aside, because Nigeria, you like it or not, it's not your tribe. It's not your ethnicity even. Maybe not technically not your tribe, but your ethnicity. Yeah, we have a common history now. We have a shared history. People have come here and pommeled many of our ancestors that knocked us together. We even fought a civil war, like some countries, and came out of it and still hung on together. So we have an ethnicity right now. Nigeria is your nation. If Nigeria doesn't do well, you're not going to do well. If you want to travel, anybody that is inside Nigeria, tell me whether you need passport to travel to any point of Nigeria. Whether there's any visa you need to go to anywhere in Nigeria. Whether you need to explain to anybody before you even try to do anything in anywhere in Nigeria. No, you don't. Yeah, you have some quirky people that are trying to break the law in the north, where they are implementing Sharia in criminal cases. That is not supposed to be possible in Nigeria. Such things should be outrightly frowned upon and discouraged strongly, because we can't keep having people go around doing things that are against the constitution, and especially when it's on such a sensitive topic. That is why some people come out here and say that they don't want to be in the country. That's why some people say those things, because, and you see sometimes you hear some prominent Nigerians come and say very divisive things. And they don't get, the worst of it is that when they say it, they don't get reprimanded for it. They don't get punished for it. They might even get promotion. What are you asking for? What kind of nation functions like that? Why would you elevate people that are trying to destroy the fabric of the nation? That has to be discouraged on all fronts. It doesn't matter whether that person is your tribes person, whether that person belongs to your political party. Because I noticed that political parties, some people, they believe in their political party more than they believe in their tribes. I'm telling you. Some Nigerians now, they believe in their political party more than they believe in their tribe. That's how crazy some Nigerians are right now. Not because the political party has ideology, because the man at the top, they like him. Or the man has given them something. So just something. It doesn't matter what it is. Not because the president has really done anything great for the nation. But it's okay. This is Nigeria. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinions. And until people start engaging honestly, we are still going to remain in this mess. I'm here with you. I'm not running anywhere. I'm a Nigerian. I can't run. If I like, I try to change my identity all I want. If I like, I go and get the Igbo passport. It's not going to make any difference. I'm still a Nigerian. And just like Trump is still a Scottish German guy, that's how I'm a Nigerian. You know, you can't run away from who you are. So let me go through some of the headlines. And if you want to join, I'll share the link now. I see some people are suggesting Rwanda as a clean country. Yeah, Rwanda is clean. You know, that's true. As a sub-Saharan African country, Rwanda is clean. But Rwanda, I don't even think they make up 10 million. And sub-Saharan population is about 1 billion. So 10 million versus 1 billion. And remember, Rwanda wouldn't show the countryside. Whenever they show Rwanda, they show the capital. And if you scale that, if you look at that from that point of view, you can maybe argue that Abuja can compete with Rwanda even. Abuja, not all parts of Abuja are messed up. Some parts of Abuja are relatively well kept, you know, but you still see signs of, you know, mismanagement and tardiness. I don't know. When I Show Speed went to Ethiopia recently, you need to see how Ethiopia looked. They took care of their capital. Really looks neat. Almost European standard. The only thing that makes it less is because it doesn't have all those very, very advanced features like, you know, underground metro lines and all those thoughts. But very, very well taken care of. Go to Lagos today. Jesus Christ. Some parts of Lagos just looks like, what is going on here? And they will put telephone masts. They would literally, it's almost like they want to put inside your kitchen. Something so powerful, something radiating so much energy, electromagnetic this in energy, and you put it so close to people's properties, and they don't even bother to even put cover properly on it. Nigerians, we are so tardy. I saw a building in Ikeja the other day, and I was like, man, this building, they need. I think I took a picture of it. This building needs to be put inside some kind of museum. Yeah, thank you for letting me know that I'm echoing. Sorry, I didn't know I was echoing. Thank you for letting me know. You see, whenever you guys hear that, please let me know, because sometimes I can't hear it in my own ears. It's because of this screen share. That's why it's echoing. So thank you for letting me know. So I was saying, in terms of was I on it's not echoing anymore. Yeah, it stopped echoing now. So in terms of maintenance, I think, did I move on from maintenance already? I hope I didn't move on from maintenance already. So it's not, we don't have a very good culture of maintaining our this infrastructure. And I really think maybe we should put more energy into that actually, because some of the infrastructure we have, they get damaged and they don't get repaired. That is lack of maintenance issue. Not necessarily because we never built. We built things. They just keep getting damaged. And sometimes we build things and we abuse them. Like we'll build roads that are meant to carry maybe maximum 2 tons of load. The next thing you will see is 10-ton truck is rolling on that road. Plying the road repeatedly, not just once, twice. Before you know it, the road gets damaged. And who else is going to come and fix it? Nobody. So we abuse infrastructure. We don't build things properly. And I was talking about that building in Ikeja. I was saying that building needs to be taken a picture because the building looks like very, very big building. But you would think some children built it like a sandcastle. Like the architect that put that building together. The architect, I don't know what to do with him. I don't know how that kind of situation will emerge. And somewhere along the line, the Lagos authorities allowed that building to keep standing. But thank goodness they left it in a way because it's a blessing to Nigerians to see how terrible, maybe in the future, some of our people used to build things. It looks like they just use hand to just take cement, put it on the block. I don't even know whether they use block because it doesn't look like. And this is in the city, and it's so tall. I think it's a 3-story building, terribly constructed, terribly finished. Everything is just horrible. No straight there. You can barely see any straight line. That is how they build it, and that kind of construction tells you the nature of the country. If you go walk into a country, you look at their structures, it tells you a lot about the people there. You don't have to look too far. Just look at the ground. If I look at the ground in the country and look at the buildings, I can tell what society I've walked into. You know, when they say how you do the little things is how you do the big things, maybe that there's some truth to that. If you walk into Singapore today, you look at the ground, you look at the building, you will know the country you walked into. America will be a little bit confusing because if you walked into Washington and you walked into Mississippi, you need at least 2 to 3 spots to land in America before you can tell the country you walked into, because America is a little bit confusing and crazy. They are a bit of a bad country. Washington will not tell you what America truly is, I must say. Washington is misleading. And I must say too, there are single states in every country that can tell you something about that country, something very, very deep about that country. In Nigeria, Lagos is one of them. Lagos will tell you a lot about Nigeria. Not necessarily about the north. If you go to Kanu, you know about the north. But Lagos will tell you everything you need to know about the south, about the finance of Nigeria, and maybe to an extent about the way Nigeria is governed. Lagos will tell you everything you need to know. So those are the kind of things we need to start looking into, because sometimes some people start making grand statements. Oh, let's go on our own. Let's create our own country. Sometimes we say, let's get recolonized. Sometimes we say, let's get dictatorship. Maybe start from the little things. There are little things out there that you can do to improve your lot. When it comes, and those things don't require a lot of effort. Like if your leaders are asking you, what do you want? You should know what to ask for. Don't just say govern well. Govern well, that's abstract. Yeah, they will tell you they want to govern well, but somehow the result is not coming out right. You have to demand specific things, because if someone like Audrey Uzokalo, that seems to be the bad boy of the East, if he wanted to govern well, you tell him govern well. What does he understand by governing well? Maybe he doesn't even know how to govern well. You have to tell him specific. If you tell him, I need you to improve our security, he won't even understand that. He may not even understand that too. You have to be specific. Like someone like me, they ask me, I'll say, I need you to recruit more into your security forces, ensure that our national assets are protected, ensure you invest in technology. Don't just keep training our young people so that when you finish training them, there's nowhere for them to practice their skills. Then they run overseas to go and work for Igbo people. This is why I'm not that interested these days in talking about building capacity. What's the term Nigerians use? Something development index. Invest in the people. You keep investing in the people, you're not investing in this infrastructure, you're not investing in industry. If you keep investing in the people, educating them, but you don't have any industry for them to work, you don't have any scientific institution for them to work in, then there is nothing there for to be done. So let me go back to playing this headline, then I'll get back to you regarding the subject matter. Let me see. It says U.S. imposes a travel ban on Nigerians. Let me do that now.
Were published in a statement on White House website on Tuesday. The Donald Trump administration has imposed. Thanks for staying with us. All right, let's turn our attention now to the new U.S. visa policy and how it affects Nigeria. The U.S. has imposed a partial travel ban on Nigerians and suspended entry for several visa categories. The new restrictions were published in a statement on White House website on Tuesday. The Donald Trump administration has imposed travel restrictions on Nigerians hoping to travel to the U.S., citing security concerns and difficulties in vetting nationals. The new restriction bars entry for Nigerians seeking to enter the U.S. as green card holders or on B1, B2, F, M, and J visas. This means Nigerians who hold visas for business, tourism, combined business and tourism, academic studies, vocational or non-academic studies, and exchange programs are now barred from entering the United States under the new restrictions. The U.S. raised the operations of radical Islamist groups in Nigeria and the persistent security crisis as some of the reasons for its decision. All right, let's bring in immigration attorney. He is Andrew Thomas. He joins me from the U.S., Massachusetts, to be specific. Good to have you join us. I seem to have had you, is it twice this week, on this issue of immigration policy or visa policy by President Trump. This is the latest one, and he's citing national security as the reason for this. I want to get your reaction before we move down specifically to Nigeria.
I believe so. Thank you, Precious, for having me once again. But before I address your question, we need to make a correction. You mentioned that green card holders are affected. If you are a citizen of one of those countries and you are a green card holder, you can go and come as you please. If you're already admitted inside the United States, this proclamation doesn't affect you. And it also doesn't affect some parolees and waiver eligible applicants. For example, those who are applying for immigration benefits, apply for a parole to travel to Nigeria, for example, it doesn't affect them as long as they stay on the safe side and return before January 1st, 2026, when the proclamation takes effect. The president or the U.S. government decided to issue this proclamation under the guise of restricting entry based on identity verification issues, integrity of passports, and some other reasons. And the president derives his authority from two sources: Immigration and Nationality Act sections 212, section F, plus section 215, subsection A. It gives the president broad powers to suspend or restrict entry on any class of
visa. And I understand the F, M, and J. A lot of people are confused on what all of this means. We know it has to do with academic study visas, exchange programs, business and tourism. But explain this to us and what it means and how the implication of this for people who are seeking these categories of visas.
What it means is that even if you have a visa before January 1st, 2026, entry is not admitted, is not guaranteed. That's admission and inspection. That's what it's called. An officer of the Customs and Border Protection sees if you can be admitted. With this proclamation, you may not be admitted. So this affects generally new people who apply for visas who are from these 15 countries, including Nigeria. This affects people outside the U.S. seeking admission who already have a visa based on the B1, B2, F, M, and J. And the effects are going to be wide-ranging because the United States is hosting the World Cup even though Nigeria may not have qualified. Nigeria supplies one of the highest numbers of foreign students to American colleges. That is also going to affect. So many people have ties to the United States by way of family, friends, and professional contacts. So I want to see how they will do this. But it's up to the Nigerian government and the governments involved to press, because in case you don't know, visa processing for US consulates is funded by those who apply for visas. The USCIS, the agency who administers immigration benefits in the United States, is wholly funded from fees people pay for petitions. They only get 4% of funding from the US Congress. So let's see how this is going to play out and how long they will be able to hold up with this proclamation, which is always up for review within 180 days or every 6 months, as the case may be.
So this, I like that you mentioned the Nigerian government. I have a few minutes left and I want to speak to it because this is not the first time we're being included in some level of, some form of visa restriction or limitation. But as a government here in Nigeria, we've not seen the ability, to move the needle, whether by negotiation or by reciprocity. And I want to just ask you what you think the limitations are, the challenges are on the Nigerian side.
Well, I wouldn't speak to the challenges of the Nigerian government because I don't work for them. But I think what they can do is leverage certain optics that favor the Nigerian government, because this is about governments and systems, and citizens or people who want to travel back and forth are the ones who are directly bearing the brunt. It's up to the Nigerian government to make sure that the processes are as transparent and have as much integrity as possible. The case of having non-state actors being a reason for vetting, there's really no basis for that, because practically there are non-state actors all parts of the world. So I don't see that as a basis to deny some countries from having their citizens move back and forth to the United States. It's up to the Nigerian government to make its systems more transparent, share more data, and press for the inclusion of Nigerians in decision making when it affects Nigerians, because Nigerians contribute a lot to the American economy, and that's a leverage for the government to speak to. But on my part as an attorney, I believe this proclamation can be challenged on any grounds, even though the president has legal authority to declare it. It can be challenged on how it is applied, because it is an overbreadth. There are implementation errors. Why is it that there are about 26 African countries out of 39 countries? There are likely individual due process violations, because it's a case-by-case basis. You can't just put a blanket ban because people overstay visas. And there are likely issues of improper denial or waivers, because it is almost certain that when people show up, even before January 1st, they might still want to deny them entry, even though they have a valid parole to travel to see their family in Nigeria or in any of these countries affected. So on that basis, those 4 bases, this can be challenged in court. There's no doubt the president has authority and pretext to declare proclamation, but it's overbroad and it appears to violate due process.
So I wish we could talk about the overstay.
Thank you for joining me, Shabaka. And I see that, I don't know, the live stream seems to be on only one format, and normally it does have mobile format versus landscape format. But that said, that is fine. And this is the traditional format that we normally use anyway. So I guess this has to do with the US, and from what I gather, 26 out of 30 something countries were African countries that were on the list to be partially banned. We know why, of course. It's not by accident that we keep getting hit by all these things. That said, what do you make of these bans? Because it appears we are like the butt of every joke around the world these days. Nigerians, when Trump feels like he wants to distract Americans a little bit, he brings Nigeria out for a whipping. And when he wants to make Europeans feel good, maybe even Nigerians feel good, he bans countries and includes us in it. And because they know we can't kick back, what are we going to do? So I don't know, Shabaka, what do you think about the ban from the context, from what Trump is doing? What is it meant to achieve?
Well, to me, it's about they're trying to prevent the demographic shift, I guess. pandering to the quote unquote conservative crowd that he panders to. It wasn't just black African nations; it was black Caribbean nations and some in Central America. So, the crowd that he panders to wants the demographics to stop going to the way of brown and black. So they want the country to remain majority Anglo-Saxon. So yeah, that's
So how do you feel then? If this is the case, how do you feel when you hear some Nigerians say we should be recolonized by the same people?
People that have sentiments like that, to be honest, I don't respect them. It would be hard for me to have a legitimate conversation with them because that's just cowardice. Anybody that would utter those words, I have no respect for.
Thank you for that. And regarding you said the Caribbean states. So do you know the precise numbering? Because I know Africans were included. So how many out of the 36 states or so, how many states were banned and how many are actually black states?
I know for a fact Haiti. I looked at the list 2 days ago. I didn't count the number of Caribbean.
I will try to find out. That is crazy.
But the excuse of security risk is that's null and void. There are no people from African countries. You could say, I guess, Somalia, but I've never even seen them commit any terroristic act. That one person from New Orleans was an immigrant, but he was born in the United States. But as far as security risk, no people from African countries are coming over here doing terroristic acts. So that's not true. I get, and they're trying to make this big deal in Minnesota about Somalians doing benefit fraud with financial aid. But again, right now the climate in the country, these conservatives are jumping for joy now that Trump is actualizing all of the ideals that have been dormant for the past 20 years. All they're doing is just trying to flex their muscles right now.
Yeah, it seems to be banning. From what I got at the list, I don't know why they're talking about in something countries, maybe in Africa, but the list is about 75 actually. From what I can see, it says Trump suspend immigrant visas for 75 countries who's affected. So on the map, let me see if I can pull the map up. So we see. So it's not necessarily obviously mostly non-European countries, as you can see. It's funny he left China and India out, where they have quite a lot of population. A lot of Indians come to America. They didn't even put any restriction on them at all. It's really bad for us, because look at how many African countries. To be fair, I think Ethiopia is Ethiopia there. I'm not sure Ethiopia is included on the list. Ethiopia is not on the list. Okay, Ethiopia is on the list, of course. Nigeria is on the list. DRC. So the most populated countries in Africa are on the list. But in Asia, the most populated countries are not on the list. China is not on the list. India is not on the list. In Europe, zero. No European countries on the list, of course. Brazil is on the list. All those Salsa people, nobody needs all of them in America. And Colombia is also on the list. Many Caribbean countries are on the list. So I don't know what it means in terms of banning people. It's just a very silly, crude way of doing things. But that is up to them now. But do you think it will make any difference anyway? Because I don't even think the ICE state is even making much of a difference in terms of the demographic shift that's happening. Because the numbers are huge. when I heard about 20 million to plus million Americans are illegal in that country, I'm like, how do you get rid of those? It's impossible. So what do you think? I don't know where to take this, because Trump seems to be acting crazy in so many ways. If you were to describe Trump's policy, I know one thing. I agree with you on that front. That demographic shift, they want to stop it. But do you think it's too late to be stopped now?
I think it's symbolic. They're not effectively. They know through the numbers that we're not having that effect on a shift to the demographic. Like you said, it's the quote unquote Latino population that's coming in. But these quote unquote Republicans benefit off of their cheap labor. So they're hypocrites. Like it's basically they're just hypocrites. Again, most of the rhetoric is symbolic. They don't target their main issues for real, and they just like to make, because we're the low hanging fruit, we're the scapegoat as black people. So it's just run of the mill Americana.
But okay, let's say the rich they carry on doing this nonsense that they are doing. Where do you think this is going to go? Because now Nigeria don't have any say. They will just put it on us. What is the Nigerian government going to do? If the Nigerian government opens it, but Trump will like, oh no, you're killing Christians again. They come on top of it. So the Nigerian government don't have anything to say. They're all scared. Like our Senate president expressed the other day. This is why cowardice is so repugnant to me, really. What do you? How do you think their own people will respond to this? If you say it's lip service, they are kind of providing to their people right now. When the people still discover that the demographics is still shifting, and they are turning minorities, when do you think the whole thing is going to fall apart in terms of the people, the Europeans in the country that want their country back, realizing that what, these our leaders are traitors. They're not doing what they said they're going to do, and we are not going to have it. How long do you think they will put up with it before the dam will break?
I don't think that they don't think in their mind that the leaders are playing lip service. I mean, to a degree, it would if they have consecutive Republican leaders that think the way Trump does. I think that they'll be happy. If another Democratic leader comes in and reverses everything that Trump did, then they're going to be mad, but they won't be mad at Trump or their leadership. I think that they really believe that the shift is happening. Which, I mean, from an ideological standpoint, the conservative mindset is it never went anywhere. It's just becoming more vocal and more prevalent with the younger demographic within the United States. They're going back to the colonial ideas. They feel like they've been suppressed. They don't like the quote unquote white guilt, and it's really they're really just embracing the ideals that their grandparents had, which I'm happy with, because I don't like the fake we are one world stuff. Be real with it. You don't like us, and it is what it is, and it's gonna be that way. Don't act like you like me, and then when behind my back you're speaking ill of me. Be upfront with it. I respect Trump because he tells you how it is.
That's true too. That's why I wanted him to be elected, because he tells you what it is. Because many of our people, when they see the Democrats, they start buying into all their BS about Leahy law and human rights. No. What kind of human rights? If they care about human rights, we wouldn't be this poor in Africa. They will care about those Nigerian children that are living in poverty with flies hanging over. No, they come here, they take your uranium and power their cities while you rot in hell. So these people don't care about human rights clearly. So I wish our people can see that, but I'm glad Trump is making it. Even with Trump making it clear, our people can't see it. Some people still want Trump to come and cover those. Even when now he has taken the money from Venezuela and put it in Qatar. He didn't even put it in America. Even in Qatar. America, you see, so many crazy things are happening these days. It's like, where do you even start from? The guy took money from another country and put it in a foreign country. Americans are not losing it. Like, what kind of madness is this that is going on? In other words, American government cannot tax the money. You cannot bring money into the American treasury, but it's in Qatar. Who is controlling the money? Nobody's asking for accountability. The Democrats are basically lying flat, waiting to be tickled by election. So, but the question I was asking before that I'll go back to is, you said that the Republicans, they are buying into what their leaders are selling. They are buying into it because they see things moving right now. But what if after a while they notice that, let's say, census statistics comes up and they find that the demographic is still shifting even faster? When would they react and say, you know what, whatever you are doing now is not even enough?
That's going to cause them to be more extreme. I mean, it's been laying dormant for years. Like it's to within their community and the people that share ideals like them. It's been like they've been feeling that the country's slipping out of their hands from a cultural standpoint, from a literal demographic standpoint. Yeah. So if the demographics continue to shift in the way they are now, yeah, they're going to get more extreme to where they're just going to be. It's going to get bad. But I think the way that they're voting now, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody along the lines of Trump is consecutively elected. I think they're gaining. I mean, which if they have another candidate that tempers some of the foreign policy, because I guess some people don't like that, but I still don't see that overtaking for people to go all the way left again. I don't think that's happening. People on the ground are tired of the Democrats, I guess, from the sentiment
That is very interesting. You said they will go more extreme, and I think maybe there's some truth there, because what are they going to do to overturn the Republican Party? If the Republican Party refuses to go more extreme, what happens then? Because
I mean,
either the
when it
Republican
comes to
Party will have to
America,
go extreme, or they refuse to go more extreme. Then what happens? Do you think the people will turn on the Republican Party and create something else?
no, there is no refusal to go more extreme. I don't think. I think the Republican Party. I think their ideals reflect the average citizen. I know that there's always going to be an economic stratification from the rich people that are in the Republican Party, but from a fundamental basis, the rich Republicans have the same ideals as the poor Republicans. That's why
That is
they're in
interesting.
lockstep. They want
That's
to
interesting.
continue their hegemony by any means necessary.
I think you may have a point there, actually. It's very rarely you hear people speak like that about these things, like tying the corporate elites in the Republican Party to the ideology of the base. Because often what you hear is that the elites are living on the cloud and the people are completely separate. You know that you hear it like, but you don't necessarily. From what you are saying, it might even be that even some of the so-called liberal elites, they share similar values. Just because politically openly they just pretend as if they are not right wing and against immigration and all this stuff. They express it in a different way, but they may share the same thing. I'm saying it because I've seen situations whereby you will see among liberals, they'll be talking, black people will show up there, and black people will be testifying to the nasty things they go through with the police. We're talking about black people that are already part of the elite class in America. They still talk about being stopped by the police and having those experiences. Why their white friends don't have that experience? What that tells me is that their cousins are terrifying your life every day. You go to work with them and laugh with them, and nothing changes. I feel like there is a falsehood there that those so-called liberals, somewhere along the line, many of them share similar values as their cousins. Otherwise, it wouldn't be this bad, because America is supposed to be 50-50. Democrat 50, Republican 50, kind of, by the time you split this independence. But I don't see that in reality. What I see is a country that keeps the immigrants and the minorities down uniformly. If you go to this in California today, you don't see a lot of black people heading some of the top institutions there. You don't see that, even if they are so-called liberals there. In Hollywood, you don't see black people heading the best movies and all that. No, these days you are beginning to see them in good movies, but in reality, it's still a white club. So I don't buy into some of all those things. So it's quite refreshing to hear you talk about, especially the Republican ones sharing similar values as the poorer people. And from that point of view, you may be right that they are actually going to get more extreme. And maybe that's what we are seeing. You saw the lady that was shot the other day. And instead of sympathizing with the lady, they came and started ranting about her and calling her a terrorist. So I don't know where America is going with all this nonsense that is going on right now. Trump is just shaking up so many stuff. This ban is just a side. He just does so many things. The ban is like nothing really. It didn't even make proper headlines. And nobody seems to care. I don't know. How do you think Nigeria should be able to, or many Africans anyway, how do we navigate this madness that is going on now with America and Trump? Because he seems to like using his force. He seems to like bullying people. And I don't even know what direction he's going, because he's going after Europe, he's going after Africa, he doesn't like China so much. How do we navigate this thing? What is the best strategy for a Nigerian leader to follow at times like this?
In my opinion, the entire black population around the world needs to galvanize around the AES. You have to, in my opinion, you have to forget your direct nationality, especially when I hear from Nigerians, because like Tinubu, Tinubu's a puppet. I don't have any respect for him. And I think, that's for majority of the African leaders. Ouattara, they're just puppets. We have to galvanize around real leadership. When real leadership shows us it, we complain about our leaders all the time, but when real leadership shows its head, we have to galvanize around them, regardless if it's our direct ethnicity, if it's our direct country, or if it's even in our direct circumference. We have to look at the greater good of things. We can't let Sankaras and Lumumbas continue to happen. When we have good leaders, we must protect them, regardless, even if we have a little bit of ideology difference. If they're righteous people and they're moral people and ethical people, we need to get behind that.
Okay. So how does Nigeria, a country like Nigeria, because I learned just a couple of days ago that West Africa, something they've never done, they passed a kind of law or ruling to reduce taxes on ticket fares, because this is one thing I thought was very problematic for Africans. Africans are hard, they can't move, they are like chained, and many of us don't necessarily see the chains. It's like invisible chains using immigration rules. So, and ticket prices, not just immigration, ticket prices again is one of them. So the West African countries came together. I think that was in Senegal. They passed a ruling that they are going to reduce taxes so that the ticket fares come down. I, for one, know that if ticket fare was about half the price it is now, I'll be coming down to Nigeria more often. I'm more likely to invest more, spend more money in Nigeria. And I know many people are likely to come to Nigeria more often, and many African countries the same way. But because of the ticket prices that is unusually high on the continent, nothing progressive was happening. At least that part wasn't taken care of. But they did it last December. My thinking is that the reason why I'm highlighting it, because he said we should embrace the AES. But I'm thinking the AES is an opposition party to all the democratic systems. It's like because the democratic system are so useless right now. Like you said, they are all corrupt and all the rest. But they know if they fail, the AES, people will feel like the AES is a better option. And they may be trying to retrace their steps. They are doing things that they should have done decades ago. Why would you not want your ticket prices to be cheaper so that people can come into your country? African countries didn't do it. Until today, many of them have not done it. West African passed the law, it doesn't mean it's going to translate into reality, because we are very, very good at ensuring that we don't progress. We don't free our people from this burden. So how do you look at it from the point of view of, because I'm trying to find out what is the president, because if we come up with a way that the president, our own country should be acting, it might coincide with what the president is doing now. So we may even understand what he's doing, or it may completely diverge to what our president is doing now. Is what I mean. Because I also read the document Jide shared here about American strategy. They talked about the different regions of the world they want to have partners that are capable in different regions of the world. That means if I wanted to advise the Nigerian president, I would say you need to increase your capability. America is not going to be in your way at this time. They're not going to block you from increasing your security posture, from buying technologies from them, weapons and all those things. They're not going to block you. You need to become a major power in this region so that you become a more reliable partner that they can work with, just like the way they work with Japan and every other country. And it's going to give us access to a lot of funds for loans. Japan was part of the country that they gave $17 trillion of loan during the COVID-19 period. So we become more prosperous because of those things. Because I don't think the West is necessarily evil. Neither do I think the East is a solution.
Bros, you began with a question, or you went into a parade of wonderful.
Yeah. No. I'm trying to get to the. It's a 2 ways. It was 2 ways. Okay, fine. You guys have joined now, because that's why I like when fine. You guys have joined. I would have preferred me and him. We're just talking because that
won't be fair. And I understand why, and I also understand why the big question. But you see, there's still a way. I'm understanding your question. But put it to him, please, so that we can enjoy it.
Okay. Let me put it quickly. General Ndama, please put your camera on. It's essential we have our cameras on. I'm sorry, this session is camera on session. So put your camera on. So regarding okay, let me ask the question. Based on how we are supposed to, you are driving. Oh, look at that! No wonder you had the camera off. When you park here, I will bring it on. So regarding the way we are supposed to respond to what Trump is doing right now, you did say, I don't know. Give us an overview of what you think I know you said AES countries, but many of these countries are democratic nations. So how are they supposed to work with the AES countries? Is that not going to make it even more likely that Trump will target them? And how would the AES countries empower the other nations that are trying to pursue democracy?
We're being targeted regardless. That's my thing. Whether the top willingly capitulates or not, the citizens are going to bear the brunt, and they're not going to benefit from anything. These leaders don't have their best interest, and we all know this. In my opinion, I'm disenchanted with the West and East thing. It's like people have said on here before. It's about interest. It's not really about democracy, or it's not about capitalism. It's not about communism. It's not about the isms with them. They want to maintain their hegemony. They're when it comes to us, they want us to be extraction ports. They don't want us to have any type of autonomy. They want to bird feed us so that we're dependent, so they can continue to get their resources and set market value. And I mean, it's both sides. I from a lesser degree, Russia, because I just think Russia wants to control their direct circumference. China, I think they want to be imperialist. But again, when it comes to directly engaging with the United States are bad faith partners. You can, when it comes to interest, yeah, you can work with them. But if you don't have relative military might, they're going to try to gouge you and take advantage of you at all turns. To me, I know them for what they are. I know them for what their ultimate goals are. So it can, like with any specific leader, it can look like they're doing something positive, but they'll backdoor the deal. They're very hypocritical, and like you see what they did with Mossadegh in Iran. He was a democratically elected leader, but they deposed him to impose the Shah, to put the Shah in power, and that he was despotic to the people. They don't care about the people's well-being, or whether you're a Democrat or whether you're being benevolent to your people. It's about their interests. If what you're doing serves their interests, whether you're a communist, whether you're a capitalist, whether you're a socialist, whether you're a nihilist, they're going to support you if you support their interests. So when it comes to what we're doing, we need to galvanize around leaders that want us to be autonomous and that have ethics and that have morals and that are not willing to capitulate to the power structure. If we keep trying to capitulate to the power structure, we're going to be slaves forever. It's not even about just basic necessity autonomy. We need to have complete, full autonomy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And with the leaders that are doing that, we need to galvanize around them. I know being pragmatic, we do need pragmatism because our people are struggling, especially in Nigeria. I have great sympathy for the people that are on the ground. Any progress will be progress for the people that are suffering. But when it comes to our ultimate goals, we don't need to give up our ultimate autonomy for just pragmatism. I think both can be done.
But I have to say though, this hat you're wearing, it reminds me of some Taliban hat. It's not very helpful wearing it. If I see
it's just
the street with this hat, you have to watch out. You have
That's Carhartt, man. Catch up, one father.
I'm just saying you have to be careful before they mistake him for a Taliban guy.
No Taliban, no Islam here.
All right, nice one. Let me bring up Para. He's already been waving his fingers like, you're wasting my time, my precious time that I spent here. So what do you make of this now? So what should be Nigeria's strategy to deal with this ban? And at the same time, generally, what should be the Nigerian strategy with Trump that it's actually going to help us, empirically, not just, in an abstract way? How is it going to help us? How do we engage Trump? Because if you say it, then you can be able to observe what the current president is doing and see whether it aligns. If it doesn't align, then he deserves serious criticism. Please go ahead.
Yeah, first and foremost, good evening, all. You mentioned that no European country is involved in this Trump's ban. We have Russia there. We have Armenia. We have Belarus. We have.
I mean Western Europe.
I'm coming. You're talking about Europe now. You're not talking about Western Europe.
And when we say Europe, we know what we are talking about. We're not talking about all the rougher ones.
Because you said Europe. So I'm talking about, you have Albania, you have Kosovo. All these people are Europeans.
So that we can all benefit. If the man that spoke said no, he is referring to Western Europe, then we should all understand
because he said Europe. That's why I'm trying to.
But he is correcting you now that he said Western Europe, not generally Europe.
Yeah, but I have to. Excuse me. I have to put my own opinion because he didn't say exactly which part of Europe he's talking about.
You don't expect you not to put a ban on Russians for crying out loud, or Belarus that works with Russia. We are talking about mostly Western Europe.
Forefathers, you have Albania, you have Kosovo, you have Armenia, you have other small European countries. They are European countries anyway. So now you talk about Nigeria. If you refer yourself few years ago, let's say 30 years ago, where Nigeria was and where Nigeria is now, then you blame the leadership in Nigeria. Because in 1980s, or even say 70s and 80s, this super, powerful dollar was almost $1. So then Nigerians were not selling their properties to relocate to America or to relocate to England or relocate to Germany. Nigerians were happy in their own country because then things were going better. The economy was better, the security was better, the leadership was better. So what happened? That all of a sudden, within 30 years, the Naira crushed, the economy crushed, the security crushed. Are you blaming Trump or are you blaming your leadership? I will blame my leadership because if we had good leadership, by now, Nigeria would have been at least one of the leading countries in Africa or one of the leading countries in the world. So leadership problem is what is hindering African countries, mostly sub-Saharan Africa, from growing.
So, but what should Tinubu be doing with Trump right now that we are being included on this list? What should he be doing?
At the moment, I don't think Tinubu has more options or any option at the moment. Tinubu is fighting for his political survival. Tinubu doesn't care about what Trump does against ordinary Nigerians because I believe Tinubu has access to America and his ministers also. This ban is mostly on poor Nigerians. So Tinubu doesn't give a hoot whether this ban lasts 100 years. I don't think so. Tinubu is after his re-election.
But what would you advise him to do now that Trump has locked the door on one side? What should you advise him to do to improve our lives in terms of, because there could be other things like encouraging African travel or inter-Nigerian travel, all kinds of different things.
My own advice is just let Tinubu sit down in Nigeria. I think he had just returned to Nigeria this evening after almost 3 weeks. Let Tinubu sit down in Nigeria, get Nigeria working, get things working in Nigeria, mostly security. If Nigeria gets security and, if the security gets better in Nigeria, I think that's another headway. But as long as insecurity is rampage in Nigeria, you have everywhere terrorists being pampered like know-how. You caught terrorists. After two months, you release them. You call them repentant. You pay them even stipends. This morning I was listening to a man who was accusing the Katsina government of paying 300 million naira to terrorists. The more they release those terrorists, the more even the terrorists kill. Yesterday, you see what happened in Katsina State, in Sokoto State, in Kogi State. So as long as insecurity persists in Nigeria, I don't think any country, even any country, is willing to accept Nigerians coming into their country because they don't know who is who. For example, you talk about, Trump is trying to, it's just called kind of preservation. Here where I live, if you see how many immigrants who have been deported in Germany, because it doesn't go viral like in America, because America is our big brother. Whatever goes to America, it goes viral. As we speak, in Germany, if you see how they round up you, because over here you can't stay illegal. It's not like America. In America, you can stay illegal and even buy a house or even work. In Germany, you cannot, because Germans, before you stay here, you must have identity. There's no way you can stay illegal here. If you stay illegal here, that means 1 month, hunger will push you out, because you have no access to Medicare, you have no access to anything. So you cannot stay illegal here. So what is happening here, that those people who are on partial stay here, they don't even renew their stay anymore. Immediately they will send you back. I have a brother now who is now in detention camp because his stay cannot be renewed. So these things you have here is all over the world. In the UK, see what is happening between the Labour Party and the Reform UK. In Sweden, in Denmark, European countries are closing their borders because they want to preserve their own society. Even in Nigeria, as we speak, you see some people are crying that the headers are coming into their land to take their land. So they are even fighting the headers to leave our land, go back to where you are coming from. So all these things is not only in America, it's everywhere in Africa. I think it's even easier to get American visa from Nigeria than to get Botswana visa as a Nigerian. Try and get Botswana visa from Nigeria, or Namibia visa, or even South African visa, and see how difficult it is to get this thing in Africa.
Yeah,
so
you see, that thing that you said just now, it's like, this is where very dark man statement comes into the fore. Like, are we cursed or something? How is it that even within African countries, our leaders cannot even say, let's just drop this border? Is it that they fear Nigerians so much that, because all of them, the moment you say drop the border, the first thing they imagine is Nigerians? I can tell you that.
No, it's not only Nigeria, because when you look at South Africa, the xenophobic in South Africa, it's not only against Nigeria, but against other black people. You see how they kill Zimbabweans, how they kill Ethiopians, how they kill.
Yeah, but then we deserve what is happening to us. Then our poverty, we are the one inflicting it on ourselves.
Yes,
that's the low-hanging fruit.
Yes, forefather. That is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Don't blame Trump. Don't blame German Chancellor here. Don't blame Reform UK or something like that. We black people, mostly sub-Saharan African people, we must get our ass together. We must get things. Nobody's coming to our country to build our country for us. We have to build our country for ourselves. But we are lacking this. I don't know if we lack this capacity as a black people. I don't know, because you look at the whole sub-Saharan African people. There is no running water in any country in sub-Sahara. In the villages, I'm not talking even the cities, but in the villages, 2025, there is no running water in villages unless you dig your own borehole in your village. There is no schools. There is no electricity in 21st century or in sub-Saharan Africa. You mentioned how Morocco looks like. Look at how Morocco looks like. The same thing Algeria. The same thing Tunisia. Then you come to sub-Saharan Africa. We have the manpower, we have the intellectual, but what is stopping us from building a civic society? I'm not talking of going to the moon or going to the. I'm talking about simple water system. We don't have it. Is it Igbo man? Are we going to blame the colonizers? Let us blame ourselves. This immigration issue is not only in America. It is here in Europe. It is happening in Europe. Even Japan is the worst. Look at what is happening in Japan. Every system, if you want to, you have to preserve your people. Otherwise, other people will crush you, will take over your people. That is nature. You have to protect your people. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. You know, Europe is now even getting a little bit angsty because of what Trump has been doing. And I don't know whether they are just pulling a kind of funny, look at that, then he's doing some kind of grooming. Look at he's trying to
Excuse
tell,
me.
trying to tell
Excuse me, my brother.
you have nothing
I
of
beg
this.
your pardon. The thing was tangled for the TV. I beg your
Nice
pardon.
one. Yeah,
I'm
go
hearing
on.
your question, sir. I'm hearing your question.
So how do we react to some of all these things that Trump is doing? Because it's not only one; he just keeps piling it on one insult after the other. So what direction do you think Nigeria should be going in terms of weathering these things? And you know, what do you think?
Well, good evening again to the panelists and to your good show, forefather. We wish to make it a show with real depth and intelligence. I salute our newcomer, it seems Shabaka. I listened to him a couple of shows ago, where I was rather impressed with his, very straightforward and correct answers, in my view. So we have the makings of a good panel here right now. You see, my brother, I came on because of what Shabaka said. I'm still quite perplexed as to why we don't talk about them more and to raise the kind of support for the kind of governance that has been perpetrated or given in the AES countries. I don't know if it'd be propaganda or AI or just general lies, but the majority of what I see coming out of there as news is rather satisfying to me as an ongoing way to tackle the problems of insurgency, terrorism, and yet still be people focused and bringing on board projects that are giving people hope, income, and employment. And these things aren't lost on me, where the nations of the AES countries are going as per governance and real autonomy seeking for their countries. Where I don't see it is Nigeria. I don't see it enough. And we've got to be clear that Nigeria is not going where we want it to go. Nigeria is not being... I've got a clear picture of what Nigeria should be doing for itself and for the diaspora at large. When I say the diaspora at large, I mean the nation, the world's black nation that need a voice. We need a voice because we've got a voice. There are too many black people with too many opinions. If you look at the Americas and you check the conscious black world in the Americas, you're seeing a voice take place. And whilst it may be antagonistic at times, it mirrors the voice in Europe, the black voice in Europe. And whilst that may be antagonistic at times, it mirrors the black voices in Africa. So I'm afraid we have really got to try and take the bull by the horns. The whole issue of, the way we are being looked upon or how we are being policed, they always come with more and more questions of this dislocated growth patterns that we have been seeing across the African continent at large, across West Africa, particularly in Nigeria. We see 2 steps forward, 15 steps back. We keep seeing it. There's got to come a point where we say no further. We're not going any further backward. And I'm afraid, I don't know. I'm always going to be saying this now, between now and 2027. I don't want there to be an election. I want it to be a reset. And I want that reset to come from the people. And I need the army and the military zone to be aware of what it is that the people are doing. And the fact that we are trying to bring a legitimacy to govern Nigeria. And we want Nigeria to force a real exchange of politics, sociology, and economics across the West African plain. And once we have that power beneath us all as West Africans, we would be able to march forward in such a way that what's happening around the world and the way the world hegemony is looking at buckstering and changing until they arrive at their new world order, we've got to be in place. We've got to be in position to speak for ourselves. So I really am coming from that objective. The rest to me is a sideshow, is a distraction. Our paradigm we've really lived through for a good 30 years. We don't want another 30 years like that. The next 30 years in our Nigerian aspect should be one of cleansing, one of cleaning, one of reorganization, and one on turning the gun around from putting it in our own head, turning it away from our head. Because right now, this is how the gun is on Africa. It's on our head. You can't stay like that, for God's sake. I thank you.
Let me just play this because it's almost like Macron was reading my mind and some of the things he was saying. Not reading my mind, it's just obvious. Everybody knows these things. It's just sometimes when you tell our people, they fight you for it. Let me just play this. It's in French, but just read its subtitles.
Des forces armées, mesdames et messieurs, en vos grades et qualités, au Groenland, territoire autonome du Royaume de Danemark, les Européens ont une responsabilité particulière, car ce territoire appartient à l'Union européenne, car ce territoire est aussi celui d'un de nos alliés de l'OTAN. La France a décidé de se joindre à l'exercice qui a été programmé et lancé par le Danemark de manière souveraine et indépendante dans le cadre d'Arctic Endurance. Une première équipe de militaires français est déjà sur place et sera renforcée dans les prochains jours par des moyens terrestres, aériens et maritimes. L'histoire ne pardonne ni l'impréparation ni la faiblesse.
History does not forgive unpreparedness and weakness. And this is something I've been shouting and shouting, and look at them. That's why he's able to send his men to go and basically thwart Trump right now, because they were prepared. They didn't sleep when things were going well. But let me just carry on.
Nos armées et toutes nos armées, l'ensemble des services de soutien aussi et tout particulièrement, sont notre assurance vie. Et la dissuasion nucléaire, tout autant, sur laquelle j'aurai bientôt l'occasion de me réexprimer, en est la clé de voûte. Tous les efforts que je viens d'évoquer et ceux que nous allons encore continuer de faire concourent à nous rendre prêts à la hauteur des périls.
So those people that think Europeans, some people always like to say Europeans are, they are dying, their population is dying, or they are becoming weaker. Keep saying that. They are not. Not much has changed. Their population that they have right now is more than what they had in 1960. They are not dead. And they still are armed. That's more they've gotten more sophisticated. The idea that they are dead is not true, or they are even dying is not true. And the fact that they are always ready. These people have not been to major wars for a very long time, and look at how ready they are for any throwdown. And you see, when the chips are down, they know they have nuclear weapons. That is what it always comes down to. Whether you are able to defend yourself and deter other people from intimidating you to follow their own rules, basically. When people say they want also recolonize, when I said earlier on that, you know what they could do to you when they recolonize you? Anything, they are free to do almost anything then. They can sterilize all your women. What happens? In 1 or 2 generations, you're gone. And they have the technology now. And some of our men think that's a good idea. They don't know the danger that they're exposing themselves to. What do you think these people are? Some kind of angel that is there to serve you. You think they don't like their own families and their own children to prosper even more? they will just wipe you out and take your real estate and use it to have more parties and their children prospering. But that said, let me bring in Jide. Jide, what do you make of our actions towards the current president? Do we, I mean, what the president should be doing? Maybe it's a good thing that he traveled overseas, right, to go and have conversation. You know, this one that this guy is threatening me. What do you guys think we should be doing? You know, he's buying the weapons left and right. I've never seen the Nigerian president buying so much weapons. And the good thing now is that they are delivering faster. These useless Democrats that will be using Leahy law and all kinds of weird stuff to delay it, they are delivering faster. They brought tools to Nigeria. They keep bringing things to Nigeria quite frequently now. So we don't necessarily know what this president is doing, because he's one of the first presidents in Nigeria that also said that Ajekuta steels, parts of it to be used to start manufacturing ammunition in Nigeria. I don't know how far that has gone. That's more than 2 years ago. I don't know what is happening there. It would be good to get an update on whether that thing is moving forward. But if he's serious about it and Nigeria actually start doing its own thing, we might be seeing a turning point that is going on in Nigeria. Turning point is a turning point. It's not, we are not out of the wood by a long shot. But what do you think the president should be doing now? I'm sure, Jide, you have something. I hope you have something to tell us what the president should be doing to maximize our potential now while we are being locked out of many countries. Even European countries don't want us there. Let's face it, they don't want us there anymore. They are tired of Nigerian nurses and trying to beat their old people up. And, you know, all kinds of weird stuff. All kinds of weird stuff going on. So what do you make of, what do you think the president of our country should be doing?
Yeah, thank you so much, Papa. That's good to see you, man. Good to see everyone on the panel, and greetings to everyone listening and viewers as well. Greetings to the viewers. Yeah, like it's clear that the Nigerian government is a puppet. It's a client to the United States and the collective West. Our political class have failed us, like I said earlier. There should be so much contempt for our political class. The current president, like some people call him the drug baron, honestly is going in the wrong direction. Any security challenge, the first thing is for you to actually form security architecture with your neighbors. If you're not forming any security architecture with your neighbors in tackling that issue first, and are going for a country that your neighbors are seen as an adversary, that's the most foolish thing to do. That's the most foolish thing to do. And now I'm talking about AES. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, in as much as I want Nigeria to move away from the West, in as much I want Nigeria to actually implement socialist policies for its people, for real development, I haven't said that. Apart from that, if you are actually having tensions with your neighbors, AES, Benin, you are going to storm Benin because a president requested that you go do that. You are having tensions with Ibrahim Traore's Burkina Faso. You are having tensions with Niger. You are having tensions with Mali. Meanwhile, those same terrorists that you are going to fight, they are coming from those places. And you are going to meet Uncle Sam that has proven time and time again that he has failed when it comes to fighting terrorism. Look at what is going on in Syria. Look at Syria today is almost like Libya today. Look at what's going on in Syria. Syria is a destabilized country. The current president of Syria is a terrorist that was wanted. Al-Jolani. This is the guy they endorsed. But having said that, this is a major information I want everyone to listen to. Do everyone know that Donald Trump, under Donald Trump's administration, the United States have removed himself from one of the countries that fights counterterrorism? I'm saying it just a few days ago. Like a few days ago. And they are supplying weapons to Nigeria. Wow. They are supplying weapons to Nigeria. They sent missiles to Sokoto, Abiwe. Just some few miles to Niger. No terrorists were inflicted. Just a few days ago, Fox News were reporting that bandits, they were killing some Christians. And it's going on over and over. And Trump just said recently, he said it recently, that just a few days ago as well, that if the killings continue, he will continue to intervene in Nigeria. This is a complete blackmail. The truth is, this is not supposed to even be a negotiation at all. We're supposed to understand we are at war with this country. We are at war. This was what led to the coups in AES. They collaborated with France to fight the terrorism. The terrorism exacerbated. That was what led to the coup. Now they're supplying weapons. In fact, in addition to what you said, Saudi Arabia, they supplied weapons to Nigeria. This is not going to be to fight terrorism. In Saudi Arabia, to fight terrorism. If they're going to fight terrorism, how come they fought for terrorism and defeated ISIS in Iraq and Syria? They supply weapons to Nigeria. It is because they are trying to use Nigeria as a proxy against anti-imperialist countries within the ECOWAS. That's what's going on. Don't forget, some months ago, I think it was last month. What am I even saying? Last month, Ibrahim Traore said that we need to prepare for a future winter. That there are some countries, they are willing to be slaves to the imperialists. These weapons, I'm thinking it's going to be for a potential war with AES. Because it's common sense. It's common sense. You want to fight terrorism, where are the terrorists coming from? Where are the terrorists coming from? It's from those countries. Those countries are fighting them too. Why can't you unite with them to fight terrorism? Why are you going to go and collaborate with a country that has shown track record of failing to defeat terrorism? That went to Afghanistan for 20 years. Make person fail for 20 years. Make it fail. Make people where they fight. Make it come back. Make it come rule the country. That's the country you are calling. I mean, it's not even an argument. This country should be a country we should be at war with. They do not respect us. They're actually coming to further dominate us because they do not want Chinese influence in Africa. And they know that Nigeria is a very critical country in Africa. Nigeria has so much influence in Africa. We have the most populous country in Africa, the most diverse country, one of the most diverse countries in Africa. They cannot allow a country that is of critical importance to be of Chinese influence. Nigeria has the largest imports of Chinese products in Africa, either first or second. Nigeria is a BRICS partner. Nigeria is talking about forming alliance with Palestine in United Nations. The vice president.
Nigeria has time to form alliance with Palestine when they barely form alliance with West African countries. Well,
honestly,
what kind of thinking is that? I hope Tinubu is not serious about that one or Shetima. Whoever is coming up with that idea.
It's not an elite, you know. That's why, in reaction to that, they are now standing the US and Israel. They are funding all these organizations, international organizations, that will spread propaganda with mainstream media about Christian genocide so that they can destabilize Nigeria and further anchor their dominance over Nigeria because they see Nigeria as a threat in that regard. So the West is very desperate at the moment. The West is desperate and they need to consolidate their dominance. And this is why what is going on in Nigeria is going on. You see, what's going on in Nigeria right now, if the Nigerian government is not careful, I mean, they don't even care. They don't care because their children have foreign passport. They can easily fly abroad. Nigeria is going to end up like Somalia. Not even like if care is not taken. Nigeria is actually moving towards being like Somalia. Somalia right now. And look at what they're doing in Somalia. They destroyed Somalia. They're now trying to extract another country out of Somalia again through their international organizations that spread fascism. Look at what they're doing in Iran. Look at what they did in Venezuela recently. Is that what we want for our country? That's not what we want for our country. These people are our enemies.
I'm going to ask you a question. Sorry, guys. GDO, I hear where you're coming from. I understand all the history and politics about what you are saying. What I'd like to put to you at this point is knowing all what you understand to be the realities in Nigeria, in West Africa, in the geopolitics of the world, what and how do you frame the opposite of Somalia being the outcome? And where do you see the increments of positivity that could put us there? In your mind, frame it out. Because I hear the complaint, if you like, far too much. OVA has put a full stop on complaining, saying that as we are now of age as human beings, as men and women, paint a positive picture if you can.
Yes, thank you so much. You see, like, in my opinion, you see, why I keep saying that Nigeria may end up being like Somalia is that in the sense that Nigeria is a country of different, it's a very fragile country. It's a fragile country, the way Somalia was fragile. And now, what you have is that when there's US intervention in a country, particularly military intervention, it creates further destabilization. So when they go and bomb a country, like they are going to, let's say for instance, they send the army and they bomb the country, it creates further destabilization. It creates sectarianism and fragmentation of the country. Because currently Nigeria is a fragile state. Nigeria is a fragile state that is about to be further divided. So when they intervene, well, you have a country that the state is weak, and they can keep funding different groups like IPOB, like the Fulani jihadists. They can form different, so those people, they'll keep fighting each other. What will happen is we lead to complete instability like you have in Libya. Instability, there is no functional state.
You forgot to mention Sunday Igboho.
I mentioned all these people. I said Fulani.
No. You didn't mention Oduduwa secessionist. Sunday Igboho. You only mentioned IPOB.
Igbo one hasn't led to some serious loss of life,
So
that's why they rate them lower.
Either Niger Delta or Igbo.
Okay. So if you want to mention, you mention everybody completely. Thank you.
But I think what Jagun was asking was very pertinent actually. So before we move to Mascot, that knowing what we know, there's no point. We all know that they don't have much of a our interest in mind. I don't even think that is the point. Whether they have our interest, they have their interest in mind. That's the important thing. What should Tinubu be doing? Are you saying that he should align himself with the AES? Because personally, they could do better with ECOWAS. They have not even done anything with ECOWAS.
They should align with AES. It's as simple. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we can name countries that have defeated terrorism: Algeria, Russia. You don't want to collaborate on
Egypt.
These countries, they don't collaborate. It was within their neighbors, within networks. They collaborated with countries within their network, and they are Muslim countries. In Russia, they have Muslim people there. How do they do it? It is through functional leadership. Through functional leadership, under Boris Yeltsin, terrorists were in Russia. They were funded by the CIA, just like in Nigeria. In fact, they were about to destabilize Russia, divide Russia like the way they want to divide Nigeria right now, Israel and the US. But you know what? They voted in Putin. Putin's government, they revolutionized the entire Russian state to become more powerful, to defeat those terrorists. If we don't have that in Nigeria, where we have a person like Putin that we can vote for, that will change the entire political architecture with a completely different political paradigm and ideology, we'll end up in like Somalia.
But to be fair, though, before I move to Masca, to be fair, Putin had, a strong defense base to work from. What do we have? We don't have anything to work from.
But Boris Yeltsin,
America couldn't bomb Russia the way they are bombing Nigeria. They tried it even under Boris Yeltsin. They would have had a lot of trouble because somebody did the hard work. Stalin did the hard work. The man of steel did the hard work of laying that foundation. And that's the biggest lesson I learned in the 90s when I was growing up. Because I saw Soviet Union fall and I saw them rise. It was so easy for them. Like, what is the difference between them and us? That strong base that they have.
It's a mentality thing. Our people are not ready. They want to vote for Peter Obi. They're not ready. They're not.
Let me go to Masca. Masca, we keep getting banned. And maybe actually this restriction they put on Black people, Africans around the world, nobody has actually done the calculation of the damage it does to us as a nation and as a people. Nobody has bothered to do that because we are the most limited people for movement, even within our own continent. I think maybe someday I will do that. I will do a bit small research on that just to find out what the effect of this is. Now, Trump has decided that he's going to, throw us again under the bus. The moment they want to ban any, because Nigeria just shows up, please take us. So, but what do you think our nation should be doing now? Don't you think, because a lot of people keep saying Sahel nations, AES, but we have West Africa already. Why can't we do better with West Africa as it is? Why can't we form a defense alliance just like the AES did? So that if Trump wants to bomb one country, he's going to think about the entire 400 million instead of thinking about only Nigeria to deal with. But That's just me anyway. I don't know. Maybe the other suggestion. What do you make of it?
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you, Ife, Paul, Shabaka, and my honest brother Jagun, the one man that I can vouch for his honesty. And Mazi Gari.
Mungo de Allah. Inawuni.
Life, yeah. Okay, so look, forefathers, I've listened to you intently. My take is a bit different. We shouldn't do Nigeria should not be bothered about Trump, because Nigeria is not Trump's problem right now. We keep talking, we say their interest. What is, let's start with America. What's their own interest? Let's break it down. They do understand how the world works. It's either you are in charge, it's either you're on top or you're the one under. And obviously, forgive my friends, but look, if you are the one under, you're the one being screwed. Okay, so they understand that very well, and so they understand the fact that, especially China, they are gaining ascendancy in terms of strength, both economically and obviously military power, and of course also in terms of global dominance. So that's America's problem. That's their interest now, to make sure that they are the ones on top in terms of the relationship, especially between them and China. Wherever they see that it's a possibility for China to get an upper hand, they would swiftly move in there and deal with that. The way I see it is that it's an opportunity for a country like Nigeria. When two people, solid people, have engaged themselves in fight, you as a small person, okay, that's the opportunity you should seize to do whatever you can do for yourself. Because like Jide always say, we do understand that, look, they also want to keep us where we are, but certainly they are not, how do I put it now? I don't know. Is it juju people? I would say it's like they are also human beings. There is a limit to how many fights they can fight effectively at a point. Okay, so now they are fully engaged with China, especially this Trump that people talk about. It's very clear to me now that the man is laser focused. He has a good understanding that if he doesn't checkmate China, it doesn't mean whether you are going to put them down, but you have to. It's a fight to finish. And there are people that are prone to always fight, not like us black people who every time we start calling our forefathers, and leave the fight for another day. So the point I'm making is that Nigeria should not be bothered about, look, this visa or no visa, but how does it doesn't really change anything. The real problems of this country, to start with, I can't remember who said, is security, for instance. It's good governance, for instance. It's economic development, for instance. These are the problems. It's not visa. It's not whatever Trump does, let him do it. If we know what we're doing, we should try and sort out our internal issues first. It's like a car that is jerking and is worried about what other drivers are doing. You must fix your car, even if you want to be in a race. Fix your car. Let it be sorted. The country is in a very bad place. I don't think the issue is Trump. I don't
Thank
think.
Thank you, Masker. Masker, thank you very much for saying the truth. Thank you very much.
No. I'm not on your school of thought. We don't belong to the same school of thought. Okay, I belong to Jide's school of thought. I do have a clear understanding that these people don't have our interest. Not just that they don't have our interests. Okay, so let me do this. Let me take 2 minutes and do this. Okay. Because half of the time I hear people say, who do us? That there's a problem with the black man. What I see, or what I've come to see, is that there's a fundamental philosophical divide between the black man and, I think, essentially the white people. From all my readings, in life, what I've seen is that typically the black man is a live and let live person. If you disturb him too much, the typical attitude of our great grandparents or forefathers, as we would say, they will move to some other place, maybe to the interior. This is the typical black man. He doesn't have interest in what any other person does. But guess what? Or have you ever heard of a black explorer who has gone to explore America or China? We're not that kind of people. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just trying to make you understand, Mazi Okpara, that in as much as our problems are our own problems, I'm not excusing these people. They are the foundation of our problems.
Or did he freeze? I think yeah, your listeners tipped up. Welcome, Ify. Nice to see you here. And you know, you're always free to speak anytime you want to speak, so don't need permission to speak. So I think you are actually next, Ify. I think everybody else I see here have spoken. So I don't know. What do you make of Jagaban? I hear he's back in the country. Maybe he has gone to negotiate with Oyibo people to make sure they remove this ban on us. We hear he spent $9 million lobbying them. So what do you think? Is he doing the right thing to spend that money? And what do you think he should do about this ban? Oh, Maska is back.
Guys, you know how it is now when you
Okay. You know, somebody posted something and said, if you have good governance, you don't need to be running around chasing people, trying to bribe people to support you. Why all this running around? Somebody like Lesuti, for example, I don't think he needs to even do all these crooked people. They're doing everything humanly possible for him not to come back to second term. But it's up to Abia State. What is just, of course, corruption. When Masters, Jagaban, and all this fighting, that's not what it is. He just corrupt. In fact, let me say, Tinubu is the most corrupt. Let me say that. So, I mean, why you pay what that $9 million could do for us in that country? We are #1 world poorest country in the whole world. Nigeria, with all the money we have, with all the resources, it doesn't even seems as if we have presidents, because I don't think we do as it stands now. Everybody's doing what they want to do. Wike is doing what he wants to do. Everybody, literal ordinary citizen on the street of Lagos, is just doing what they want to do. So I don't even, sometimes I wonder if there is any governance in that country called Nigeria. And like I always ask, tell me what Tinubu has done for us since he came into power in 2023. Absolutely nothing other than inflict hardship on the people. You know, for those of you who went home, see how good our country is. Maska, you people that live in Nigeria, you can tell better. I don't know if there is any improvement on your own side, but I don't see any improvement on my own side of the people. It's just that people are. So if Tinubu is working, we will see the work. It's not even about APC and all these things. This thing is not it's not a rocket science. It's very simple. Like I was asking Papudoka earlier, why can't we have ordinary electricity? Why is it so difficult for us to have electricity in this country? Why? Why is it so difficult for us to, what happened to Chimamanda's son happen? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult to have ordinary road? In 2026, we are still campaigning with social amenities. Things with the rights of the citizens. And we're not asking for too much. How can a president all of a sudden jet off the country for almost 3 weeks or going to 1 month? We don't know where our president is. and you are governing from country. Trump is governing, according to him, governing Venezuela from America. And even though that is by the way, why are you gathering all these crooks around you just for you to win 2027? It's not that. If you can do the next thing you can do for people, we're not even going to achieve that one ever in that country again. My brother was saying Sudan, it might happen. This country is on the verge of disintegration. Everybody's talking about revolution. If we're going to get that country back, unfortunately, I hate to say this, there might be some bloodshed in order for us to get that country back. If you think these people are going to give it to you, they're not going to do that. These elites, they want to hold on to power. How can we move our country forward where we have monopolization in that country? Tell me any country, America, you are free to do whatever business you want to do. That is why they are so successful today. Likewise, other European countries. Look, we're talking about taxation like we said in the previous this thing. Are you going to tell me to pay? The little money I have in the bank, I was trying to collect it. They won't give it to me because my account is dormant. It's only Nigeria that you hear dormant account. Are you going to ask me to go? I'm telling you, I don't live in Nigeria. You're telling me to go and bring NEPA bill. You're telling me to go and bring water bill. Which government give us water in Nigeria? What kind of nonsense is that? Eh? But again, because we keep tolerating all this nonsense and they keep doing it to us. Who are the people?
But if is it not a systemic problem?
It's less than 200.
Yeah, is it not a systemic problem whereby, because so far we don't seem to have, is it not a systemic problem? We don't seem to have had one good leader in Nigeria. Like, is there one good leader we've ever had in their country? I will say this leader really did well for the country. He moved the country
we keep letting them do the same thing to us. It's because we keep allowing it. Imagine we staying here, we now saying that Buhari, oh my God, Buhari government is better than this. Did we ever think that we will ever be saying that today? Then tomorrow, Tinubu will leave, another person will come and say, why can't we have the best? What it takes and all it takes to be, for Nigeria to be the best country. Actually, Nigeria is the best country in the whole world. We don't have all this natural disaster, except maybe a flood here and there, which we know that we can fix, but we have chosen not to do so. In fact, these people, they are deliberately just want Nigeria to work. Tinubu just doesn't want Nigeria to work.
But if let me show you something. If I will send this video. I will send this video to share, because this is what I was talking earlier on, that we don't have a maintenance culture, and because why is it that almost every single leader we've had has been a disappointment? Is it us or just the leaders? Now let me show this. And look at this video, what it was showing.
No, that's not up to a year. They tie this road for us. This is what they do. They do for the road. Like 6 months, because they want to ban tent on the road. They want to block road. The whole road. Look at the road. Look at the gutter. This is what they did to the road. No, we are good here now. Put now. Then this is what they do to the road. They want to make a road. This is what they do. This is
we're trying to show there is that the people themselves seem to be.
There is no accountability.
Exactly. They don't hold each other accountable. Even recently, when I was hearing about the court system, I think you are delayed. Pardon me. It's like the court system in Nigeria doesn't hold people accountable. They are not designed. So the legislative has questions to answer. What do they call the legal part again? and the executive branch, they all have questions, and maybe the society too. Because why is it that we've not elected, judiciary? Why is it that we've not elected any good leader? Because maybe all of us are the problem, at least. All of us somehow we have to hold ourselves accountable, isn't it?
Yep.
Because we haven't elected one good leader. We haven't even the one that overthrew hasn't really been that good. Because if Buhari was that good when he was in office, he could have lasted now and did well for the country. We have not caught a break, for crying out loud. Every time we get a leader, they tend to be horrible. The only time we even enjoyed a little bit was during the 70s, where we got that oil boom, and it was
just imagine this.
Governed very well.
Just imagine this in your mind, forefather, with all what you are saying. Of the last 8 years of Buhari and 2 years, let's say, of Tinubu, imagine that there was a government in place to magnify what Nigeria is all about. And when you flew into Lagos with all its waterways and its natural beauty, you came into a harbor that was surrounded from the access of Ikorodu on the coastal side, all the way around into the Ikeja, into Solomo, into I'm talking all the coastal side facing the lagoon, all across there, coming across into what should have been by now. It's been over 11 years or 20 odd years since Eco Atlantic was supposed to be built. That is now finished. You see now all the way into the Lekki Peninsula, a kind of concave of wonderful buildings, natural scenery, palm trees waving, the Ikoro tree, broad and proud in the Lagos Bay. Picture what that looks like in tropical luxury terms, and look at what it actually still is. That could have happened in the last 2 years. That could have happened, but it hasn't.
It's not so hard to transform a nation.
It's
People
not.
think it's so hard.
It's not rocket science, as we keep saying to these people.
We can do it. It's just the mind of Nigerians. That's where the problem is. Because when you point them to the problem, they'll say, "Let some other person do it."
Fathers,
who is some other person?
Fathers, you know why it's so difficult? Because every institution in Nigeria, the military, the courts, they've been hijacked. They've been hijacked by the same class. They've been hijacked by the imperialists. That's why it's so difficult in Nigeria.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
my issue, my big question, pushback to that is, even within that imperial, the so-called class, you should have some at least that will share similar views as we do, and at least once we catch a break and they have one good leader that should have said,
unfortunately, they are
not one since 1960, not one. And it's almost universal in many African countries too.
Oh, God.
The problem maybe it's deeper than just the elite class.
Let us keep blaming the imperialists till Jesus Christ comes.
What am I saying? What did this man say?
Imperialists have their own problems,
but excuse me, let's continue blaming them.
I'm not blaming the imperialists. I just blame our institution and come on, man.
He said they are judged by imperial people that don't believe in themselves.
The political class, our political class.
No, but Okpara, he has a point now. Okpara, he has a point, because if you don't believe in yourself, you always keep running for people all the time. And I'm beginning to think that we as a people we only have ourselves to rely on now. Because you can't plan based on what China is going to do for you, what America is going to do for you. You have to kind of start from relying on yourself first.
Exactly. That's what I said before. I said 30 years ago, where was Naira and where was dollar?
Can I answer the question for you, Maz?
Yeah,
the reason is because at that time, we just got so-called independence. We had more sovereignty to our resources at that time. At that time, geopolitically, we were not yet implementing the neoliberal policies that have decimated our economy has made the Nigerians live in misery. That time, it was completely different era. That was the period of the Cold War.
You mean 30 years ago? 25 years ago?
I don't know about 30 years ago. I wasn't born 30 years ago, but I can say.
Okay, then let's
you see Nigerians there. You see somebody still talking about the property I grew up in. You know, people in Nigeria, you will not tell them one truth. They will not use it to flog you to the death. They are saying it's my father that stole property from Igbo people. I just said I live in a property when I was growing up. They wouldn't let me rest.
As a regulator, is it as a moderator? You are not fair. Oh, the system keeps kicking me out, and when you bring me back,
no. Sorry about that. Let me let you finish. But let me allow Ify to complete that submission because our audio was a bit shaky. So if you please complete your submission regarding, you were complaining about the leaders. The reason why I brought this issue up about our people too, because we don't seem to have ever gotten a good leader. So it means that somewhere along the line, whenever we dip into the poorer classes, we still bring up the same crazy leaders. So what do you make of it? What hope have we got? We keep saying we want good election. Maybe the people we will elect will still be the same. If you want good election, what is the guarantee that whoever you elect is going to be different? We are just saying now, it's in theory that Peter Obi is going to do well. We don't know whether when he gets to office he's going to do well. It's not. We are not 100% certain because people were swearing that Buhari was going to do great things. So what do you make of it?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you, EP.
I will come back. I think my internet. I have problem with my internet. I will come back.
Okay, rotate. Yeah, rotate. So, Maska.
See, I'm smiling that even in Nigeria, at least I'm still managing to come in and still talk. Even people
look at that.
Wow,
that's a low blow. That is a low blow. You can't do that.
Yes, I'm waiting for the day your own internet will start acting up. Anyway,
I don't know. Mine. Because I don't know why mine seems to be quite stable. I don't know why. Who knows? Maybe it's just the computer because I'm coming from a computer, not a mobile phone, so it's a little bit more stable. Maybe that's why.
The point I was making before Mazda Akpara was clapping for me, and I had to do a rebuttal, is the fact that at this point, I think Nigeria should really be focused about Nigeria. China did not become what they are today by looking at or trying to struggle with America. They focused on China. And I think that's what Nigeria should do. In as much as I like to talk about the black race, but I also believe that at this point, Nigeria really should focus on Nigeria first. Let's sort ourselves. And for me, the sorting out is at various levels. I hear a lot of people call for revolution, call for reset, call for this and that. I understand that. But for me, I think even the reset as a much deeper level is at our thinking level. Like I was saying, that I see the biggest problem of the black man. It's that today in the world we live, his thinking is not configured for prosperity. What I mean by his thinking is not configured for prosperity is because in this world that we live, it's not a live and let live world. And that's why you see Trump doing what he's doing, because he understands that you can't just say, oh, because America is America, you focus on America. No. By the time China gets its supremacy across a lot of domains, you would find out that the prosperity that America is enjoying suddenly will begin to wither away. We live in a zero-sum world. So we black people need to understand that it's not a live and let live world. You need to add credence to your what would we call it now? Your call for security. If you are not powerful enough, people would the way we live today in this world, the way humanity is, people will come and collect your own food and take it to their own people. That's the way it is. We black people need to understand that. It's not a live and let live world. People left their homes 17 something, 18 something. They are going all over the world. And I've read so many books. I can list like 5 books where you will see the person saying that, oh, there's this thing here, our people will benefit from this. That's the mentality. Everybody is going all over the place and they're looking for what they can come and collect from your hand, from your backyard. We must first, that's the research that we must do. We live in a zero-sum world, and as Black people, as tribes, as countries, as nations, we must have to come to understand that people will just not allow you do your thing. There will be interference, and therefore you must put your house in order. That gives you the stage to begin to live like equals with other people. Nigeria was at some point at that stage. And the truth is that we are at that level. We, the Black people, are at that level because we have all that it takes. But in terms of history, but in terms of intellect, the truth is that if we move ourselves to the level that the white people are today, we will be the dominant force in the world because we have all the things that is required. Because, forefather is saying technological revolution. Technological revolution is not something in the air. It requires harnessing natural resources, putting what are the things that the elements you put together to make steel?
Iron ore, electricity, rail, track, quite a lot of infrastructure.
No. I'm saying steel is not a natural element. You put a couple of things together. So I'm saying that you need these things. Technology for technology's sake, if you don't mix things up, there's nothing like technology. And we have the things that are required for the mixing to do that technology. The computer you talk about is a physical thing. It requires certain things to have the computers. We have these things. So I think for me, that is the first research. But in direct answer to your question, I don't think, look, as a Nigerian, honestly, yes, whatever, if maybe I would want to go to the US, but whether I go to the US or not, that will not solve Nigeria's problem. Visa or no visa ban, I think what Nigerians need to focus on is the research I talk about in terms of our thinking, to understand that collectively as a people, we have to come together. And when we come together, it's not about trying to elect one person, because I think that's where the major problem also is. If you elect me today and you go home to sleep, chances are that as a human being, I will do what I will do as a normal human being. We need to begin to always consistently, yes, you elect the good leader, but you have to always consistently develop institutions that will checkmate these people so that they will do what they have to. Look at even in America today. Trump is not just having a field day, they are constantly pushed back. You can only imagine if there are no challenging institutions in the US, what Trump will have done. Just imagine it. So I think we need to, as elites, sincerely speaking, we are the ones that have failed. It's not a failure of leadership. One is failure of thinking, deep thinking. We need to sit down. We need to look at the environment. We need to understand what really is happening. Okay, we need to compare notes, because sometimes you get into a silo, and like I always said, if you get an example, is forefathers. As far as it's concerned, every problem is security problem. If you take KJ, for instance, every problem is a tribal problem. Okay, if you take Jide, every problem is what do you call it now? Is an imperialist problem, which is why we all need to be comparing notes so that we can balance each other, do the thinking, come up with what is truly properly articulated as the problem of the country, as a problem of the Black people. And then we can move forward collectively to educate our people. Not that they should do anything, but essentially you have to carry everybody along. But the work is on the elites. There's nothing like leadership without the elites. I rest my case so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice one. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. Let me, who is there? Paul. Yeah, Paul is next. Paul, so what do you think our Tinubu should be doing? Because this one that they say he has returned back to Nigeria from Basically, maybe he was kidnapped in Maduro. Who knows? You know, it's always possible. It's always possible that they finished with him and acquitted him and sent him back to Nigeria to us. So, how do we treat all these things? Because I find that we as black people are the most restricted people from traveling, and Trump is just doing what is already happening anyway. We barely still travel. I don't know whether this ban even makes a difference. So, what do you think Nigeria should be doing about this, and how do we, forget about traveling to the West and maybe figure out a way to be in Africa and still do what we need to do to prosper?
I think it's simple. When China starts the collective industrialization and everything put together, what they did, they closed their country for almost 15 years. You understand? And everything. And they fight that anything you want to come do here, you're going to still sell your technology to them and everything. This is what helped the growth of China. Massively from family-owned aspects and everything. They send their people all over the world to go study. They send them to America. They send them to the UK to go study. And when I'm talking about study, I'm not just talking about study. I'm talking study with research. You understand? When you are working with a professor with research materials and everything, knowledge that you can do. In fact, China sent people to the US as spies. You understand? Like the way America would do CIA and everything. Take, for example, a first-class student, you understand, who is working in the military in Nigeria. You send them to the US, like just a commoner who is go to US to go get his bachelor. But he's undergoing what a professor is doing there, just to acquire that technology, that knowledge and everything. These are the things that they do. So when China started all these things, China can do things themselves. I like the way we praise ourselves, we carry ourselves tall, the way we lie to girls in streets and everything. Nigerians, we are not educated people. We are just a good manager to manage people's business. But we are not educated people at all. You understand? If you tell me Nigerians is doing well all around the world, we manage people. We don't do things ourselves like that. We've not really put together to say, we are lacking this part. Let us work collectively on this part. How can we do these things and bring this thing home? Our government don't have that collectively. You understand? So very many of us will just go, how do we do it so that we can live what we call the good life? You understand? So collectively, we don't know what we're lacking. I live in the state of Arizona. We need more nurses. They understand that the person who is coming from the East Coast that live in a cold weather, and this place is very hot, if they come once the weather changes, they go back. They say they can't keep up. What do? They lower the standard for students because the people who stay here, they lower the standard for people to stay. The man who struggled to write their NCLEX exam in New York, Chicago, that could make it, will come to Arizona to pass the board exam. By the time they get good pay, they want to stay. You do things when you lack something. How do you make people to come? How do you lower the bar to attract people? How do you give tax incentive to open new area, new communities, things that you need and everything? How do you give tax waiver? The governor of Arizona insult Nike over this me you thing, this woman issue feminist thing and everything. The governor of New Mexico, immediately they are building the biggest Nike store in Arizona. The governor of Mexico told Nike, if you want to come to New Mexico, come. You can see where state is marketing their state to attract business to their state. Do we have that? No. Do we send people for what we are lacking? No. Where are our universities when we talk about research materials? What type of research materials do we really have in our universities today that kids can still work with today? What are kids coming up with? We don't have all these things. So to some extent, we are not very much educated what the world wants. So these are our problem internally, because you cannot say we want to grow in terms of technology, military-wise and the likes. Well, everything that will make us grow, we need to go acquire those things. It doesn't work. India was doing very well. All of us, we insult ourselves about India. But America is supporting them to some extent just to contain China. You understand? So that one aspect, if they want to take down China, they can work with India, they can work with Pakistan, they can work with South Korea. These are all the logic. But India themselves, why America was supporting them, they also take the opportunity. They improve themselves in terms of science. They have one of the best doctors. They have a lot of doctors. They have a lot of engineers and the likes. So even though if the US punish them for them not to even plan themselves very well, if they fall back home the next 20, 50 years back, they can still pick up from where they start, where they stop, and rely that, oh, I have good relationship with the West. These are the things they can negotiate around. But all these things put together, we are not doing that. You understand? We are not growing like they say, united we stand, divided we fall. We are not doing that part. Then the type of system of government that we're also running again is really telling on us. 1 minute we will lie that we're practicing American system of government when federal government literally give every governor money at the end of the month. No, it doesn't work like that. If I relax on my state in Delta State, be enjoying all the oil in my backyard, tell me that the big men in Zamfara will be taking the old gold in Zamfara. No, Zamfara State will be taking the old gold in Zamfara. That's how it works. Benue State will take that thing that, like they call food basket of the nation. They will grow their Greek very well, where they will use it to make revenue for the state and the city. You understand? Than we continuously to have individual rich man, but a broke community, a broke city, and a broke state. These are all the problems that we're having put together.
Yeah, but everything you are saying, it comes down to, I think many people have touched on this when they said, basically consumption to production kind of mentality. We need to start producing things. So, but why is it that the federal government is not, they seem to be trying to go in that direction, but what you see from many of our leaders, especially not only Nigerian leaders, they will say something, but follow through is zero, like almost zero.
Oh, Father, remember that military captured this country for many years. And military, you understand, to gain strength is to control everything. And we still maintain that military type of government. Look, let me tell you, the biggest industry in Delta State is not Shell. Sorry, it's not Shell. It's Delta State Company Alaja. And what is he doing? How is the people of Alajas at 1981, they already have electricity. That is a big thing in the village. You understand? They built one of the best technical schools.
Is it still functional?
It's not functioning. It's not functioning. Why will the man in Alaja will be dreaming to go work in Shell? These are the things. Why will the man who have Ajaokuta Steel, they connect a rail all the way from Delta State Alaja to Ajaokuta Steel? You understand? Connect directly to the seaport, how to export goods and everything. Why would the man in Kogi want to be a military man when they can benefit from the steel mill? These are all the things. You understand? If this investment belongs to you and you run it and everything, it pays you. You understand? When you're entering Delta State, where they tell you, oh, those states smell rubber when you're entering Delta State, and you hear this song where they say, don't touch government property, now economic sabotage. Government own things that they don't invest. Tinubu fight Obasanjo for old federal secretariat. You understand? In Ikoyi, that secretariat that Babangida left, old federal secretariat, is still there lying fallow. Boys are smoking Igbo there. You understand? These are the things. You understand? But if it belongs to the people and everything, where the city owns all these things, we get all the big airports you get here in the US belong to city, state, and everything, nothing owned by federal government. Tell me federal university.
So hold on. I think those things you are saying, we have to start distilling it to the fundamentals, because what I find is that when we try to ascribe, let's say, an American system to the Nigerian state or the Chinese system to the Nigerian state, it's because we have not distilled it to the fundamentals. Because clearly the Chinese government are capable of building something. So is the American federal system. So is the dictatorial monarchical system of
monarchy system.
Yeah. Very, very good. The mascot. You attended your English class. So monarchical Saudi Arabian system. They all work. Even the Iranian one works. The issue, the fundamental aspect is the actual mechanism that enables those things to actually work. Like, okay, how does the government build industries? Those things in the Nigerian context, how should we get it to work? It's not about whether the system works. How in the Nigerian system as it is right now, how do we connect what the government wants to do to what, or maybe they don't even want to do it, but at least force them to actually get this thing done on the ground? Because
it is just simple.
No, let me just add what I'm trying to paint, picture I'm trying to paint here. Natasha Akpoti made a big fuss about trying to get Ajaokuta Steel coming on stream again. but not a lot of people backed her because they didn't care about those things are not at the top of their agenda, not knowing that maybe if they did more of that, maybe the country would be better off if they can pressure the government to get that thing completed. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about. Like, there are things we can do in Nigeria to make sure we build technological hubs and build a lot of great infrastructure and basically technological revolution that we could have, including in agriculture and everything. But it looks like our people are not clocked on somehow within our system. So that's why I'm trying to get to, like, how do we just kind of clear the muck in the way that allows, okay, we want our country to be built, we want to have nice bridges, how do we actually get it done? Because we have people on the ground, but we just keep saying it's the government. It's not working. It doesn't seem to be working.
Forefather, when Obasanjo asks these people not to be bringing all this limestone, bring cement from places like Brazil and the likes and everything, Dangote initially was scared. Dangote went and buy BCC, Benue Smith Company, BCC. He had a lot of problems. He went straight to Kogi and go invest on the Ajaokuta Obajana Cement Company and everything. People started putting things and everything. Dangote is doing very well in Obajana and the likes. The importation of cement reduced to some extent and everything. See, Forefather, when things connect to the people, you understand, it brings value. It resonates with them. You understand the way Coca-Cola can change the city of Atlanta. The city of Atlanta is richer than the whole southern state in America. When you put these things and it's connected to people, owned by the people, to some extent, these things help. You understand? But when strangers come, they take the little that they can take to go be a rich man in their own community and destroy the massive future growth of that thing.
Is there any example in Nigeria that the people have ever owned anything and maintained it?
I want to ask Paul a question for a statement he made that when it resonates with people, it will happen. Are you saying that good roads do not resonate with people?
Good road resonates with people. I still use this word again, and I will tell you. I said it, and I said it clearly. We pride ourselves too much.
And good road resonated with these guys that did this.
Exactly.
That did this stuff
And
to
they
the
are
road.
digging it
It
up.
resonated with them, but this is what they did.
No,
I must say that gutter, even if it's exposed, it does look clean. But I have to say
Forefather,
that.
why the big man in Nigeria automatically have common sense when they travel to the West? Because they understand the long arm of the law will catch us up with you in seconds. They understand these things. These are simple things. When I know that I will get away with things, I tend to do them because I will get away with it. But when I know that I can't get away with things, I don't do them. Yes, I will say something. Look, 2020, when COVID came, on our own, when COVID came, people started staying at home. They make a lot of money. They increased my salary with $2. You might call it $2. That's a lot of money. You understand? For $40 40 hours that I make, that is $80. $80 times 320. You understand? That I will work for 22 days. When you calculate that money, that's a lot of money. They increased my salary after 3 months again. They increased my salary with another $1. We don't have no union. We don't have nothing. Salary started going up because people don't work and they get paid. And if I get good pay, I'm not working. Naturally, I want to stay at home. You understand? You come up with any excuse, they pay you. You understand? But salary started going up. Look at the Nigerian Labor Union, how people are fighting the government making government to pay. Nigeria, we are grossly underpaid. That tells you that we're a poor country. We keep seeing ourselves that we're a rich country because somebody stole or somebody take advantage of people who work around them and make a lot, where a director will make 1 billion per annum and the least worker will make 77,000 per annum, and they go to the same market. This is not fair. And we don't have a credit system where I can fake it to get rich. I can buy a car with the credit system, which still favor the government. We don't have all those things in that part of the world. It makes it hard. We're a poor country. We're not rich like we keep telling ourselves. That's why we can build things, but we don't even have the resources. We don't even have the long-term plan to maintain what we build. So they may also not last for us.
Time, please, time.
Yeah, okay. So
All
now
right,
open up,
gentlemen, I have to
open
run.
up
Good
the
night,
panel so
everybody.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Good night.
thank you for joining us, Mask. I really appreciate it. Because we're going to be ending in the about 40 minutes we have left, and this is the Yoruba week. I'm trying to present the Yoruba culture, so people, I'm going to do it today, and I'm going to do it tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll be.
Now the upper culture you represent.
Look at that.
Let's see what's going on.
We have to be presenting our various cultures. That we start from the south, with all the Igbo. We're going to do the.
Then, Father, please, real quick, let me just touch about the freezing of the visa. See, Republicans also understand what is immigrant and every other thing. See, when immigrants come to this country, for the first 15 years of their life, they are Democrats for the first 15 years. After some time, when they start doing well, get all your board certification, doctor, home businesses, and everything, you tend to go to Republican. You understand, where you get all the tax waiver and everything. So these people, they plan, they say, they understand long term. The visa that they freeze is for immigrants, not non-immigrants. So these people come here, in few years' time, they'll become citizens and they will vote. And you already know that Trump knows that he is not popular now as at this time with immigrants. So when these people come in a short time, by the time they become citizens, because they already come in, as they come, they are already a green card holder. You understand? Once they come, immediately they are green card holder. So in few years' time, they become citizens. When they become citizens, those that got married, in 3 years' time, they'll be a citizen. Those that come, like, say, children and everything, parents, in 5 years' time, they'll be a citizen. They carry US passport, they can vote. These people, we all vote for Democrats. You understand? So these are the things. So these people are saying long-term good. And let us phrase this thing, because right now we are not popular. That's what they are doing.
Okay, so just to make them popular by freezing, I guess it makes sense. I don't have any issue with them trying to freeze them. My worry is that what we on our side is doing to make ourselves a little bit more prosperous, because I really think Nigeria is easy to govern. In reality, people just want to see the right thing, and you have to have a set of people that are going to be willing to just, do common sense, not to worry too much about their own welfare and about their own children. Because one thing our people do is they just start sending their children overseas. They want to start enjoying themselves too much without even just doing common sense. Like, why don't you just bully West African countries? Okay, tell them, go and tell your French masters, we have to organize ourselves here. We are not against them, but we have to organize ourselves better. And if trouble comes, let the trouble come. Because if you keep postponing the trouble, they are getting stronger. Tomorrow they will today they will whack you with 20 kg blow. 5 years later, they will whack you with 25. You keep postponing the trouble, they are going to get stronger. And why you just get weaker? It's a bad calculation that we are doing. We have to start calculating that we need to move as soon as possible, especially during these times where they have the Chinese to worry about, they have Russians to worry about. We need to be moving and say, you know what? We want to trade with African countries. We drop our own barriers. Everybody coming. If you want to drop ticket prices so that people can be able to come into Nigeria, fellow Nigerians can return back to Nigeria. Secure the border. How hard can that be? We have so many people looking for a job. How hard can that be? Secure your borders. Make sure people are safe when they go to their farm. How hard can that work? It's not like Trump is the one bombing us. It's just ragtag terrorists. How sophisticated are terrorists? Other countries have had the same problem. They dealt with it. They didn't even need FCC to deal with them. You just need human beings. Give them guns. Give them not just then guns. Obviously, you give them proper guns. Give them proper uniform. Give them proper barracks. Give them proper welfare. Give them proper bereavement. This in pay. Even insure them. There are so many things you can do. It's not that hard to fix a country. It's just that somehow we have been caught in the rut, and we can't seem to move at all. This is why I asked the question when you were talking. Like, we know what the problem is. It's just that sometimes, even we as a people, we see somebody that is fighting for the right thing, we stop them, or we don't support them enough. Like now, if I say, oh, someone like Natasha Akpoti can be president, how can that one be president? This one that you have, what? This one that you have, what have they done for you? The one that has been building roads, giving people free iPad, arguing for the right things. When she go into office, he didn't steal money from the office. You don't want to back that one. Even Showore, some people will just see. I don't like Showore in so many ways, but at least he's not corrupt. And he barely gets any vote. It's the same Nigerians so that are doing it to him. They did it to Ganifa with me. They did it to someone like Akpochi, and they probably do it to her too. So it's like, how do we bridge that gap where what we want is translated to the people we elect into office, the kind of people we elect into office? Or is it that maybe we elect them into office thinking that they're going to do the right thing and they go there and do the same thing that we are doing? Personally, I've thought about it so many ways. I don't even know where to come to the point where I just say, you know what, the only thing that's going to wake us up is when something bad, something terrible happens to us, and we know the importance of fighting for your land. We know the importance of fighting for your security. Nothing is going to wake us up to that truth, because everything else seems to fail. Because people believe in Buhari. Look at him. He was completely handicapped. He got into office, a good man. Technically, everybody says he's not corrupt directly. But look at him. He was unable to do that much still. So Nigeria is a very, very interesting place. But in reality, the things that you really need to do to get this to work, it's not that hard. And I really think that some of us here, so now let me just finish. I'm going to summarize. And I think you guys are going to speak till 5 minutes to go. Then we play our Bedu songs so that our Western brothers.
Please, can I say my parting shot? I will be very brief. 2 minutes.
No, Okpara, wait. You know what? I was trying to finish what I'm saying. Then you can say your bit. You are going to be the first to speak. To be fair, you've been waiting for quite a long time, I have to say. So we all know what needs to be done. We just need to translate it to actual reality, and in 2 years' time, it's going to come to fruition. Because in reality, like all of you here now, you all know to an extent you have higher standards. I hope so. That you have high standards, and the time your power is going to be magnified is during that period. You try to reach out to the people you can reach out to. You try to leverage whatever lever you can pull to change the direction of the country as much as possible. If it comes to governance, personally, I say you should fight for a presidential council system, because we need a country that is extremely stable. And I think that's the most stable system you can have in the country, in the world. It's about one of the most stable systems in the world. It's been around for over 200 years, and that country is doing very, very well. If it comes to security, you better argue for more manpower. Don't argue for equipment, because people are buying equipment all the time. It's not going to work. Israel has done it. Everybody has done it. You have to have more people. Those critical things, whatever you can do to improve things, we need to maximize it, because when you do it before the election, you are more likely to get a better outcome. At least you are going to force your politicians. You are going to push them. We don't even push them. They don't tell us anything they are doing. Tinubu just said, I'm going to remove the subsidies. He didn't tell us what he's going to do with it. And today he didn't tell us what he did with it. They don't tell us anything. We don't even ask them anything. This is a democracy. They are supposed to explain to us what they are doing with your money, what they are going to do when they get into office, until we push them. For some reason, this platform, we are not able to bring them here. We barely are able to even bring free trade union presidents here. How powerful are these trade union presidents in Nigeria that I can't even question them online? So one way or the other, we have to do the best we can. Personally, while I'm in Nigeria while I'm talking to people, I would try to do the best that I can. I think if we all start putting our money where our mouth is, all of us that are overseas, we may actually be able to make an impact, because our minds are not for nothing. All this conversation is not for nothing. We are already primed, and there will be a time when our abilities are going to, the ability and the things we can be able to do, the power is going to be magnified. And I hope we take advantage of it in 2027. Maybe even President Tinubu will do the right thing if you push him enough. Maybe even him will do the right thing if you push him enough. In politics, there's various ways to transform the system. So I will leave it at that for the time being. And Okpara, you can go ahead and let's just open it up. Let people can speak more freely. So I'll just be quiet. Nice one.
Thank you.
I might ask a few questions here and there, but I'll be quiet.
Thank you very much. I've stopped blaming the new colonialist or imperialist. The imperialists we have in Nigeria are those people, our own people. The ruling elite, the cabals, they are our main problems. They are holding us down, not to Igbo man, not to America. These people we call our governors, our president, our senators, they are our abattoirs. They are our nightmares, not anybody else. For example, you see what a country You come to a Nigeria. If you are a Yoruba man in Imo State, you are born there. You grew up there, you schooled there, but you cannot even be elected even as a local government chairman. You know, you go to other states, the same thing. An Igbo man cannot become a governor in Lagos State. A Yoruba man cannot become a governor in Kano State. And this is one country. We have one passport. But we cannot do this thing in our country. A Yoruba man cannot become a senator in Igbo land. A Yoruba man cannot become a senator in Hausa land. The same thing goes around. And we are here blaming neo-colonialists. We are blaming foreign powers. We are problem to ourselves. Let us tell ourselves the truth. We are talking about a one country, one strong country, one powerful country, but we have not even come together and agree. Do we really want to be in a system like this? If yes, how are we going to, push this thing? How are we going to live as one people? No. Look at on 15th was Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Go and see the kind of hate, who caused the war, who killed this person, who may, you see the division. You played football, Nigeria lost against, I don't know whether Morocco. You saw the ethnic division. They are blaming Igbos for not playing the penalty, for missing the penalty, sorry. The Igbos were blaming these people. Even some Northerners are saying, why did you even feature only the Biafrans on this thing? This country cannot work this way. The Nigerian problem is not America. Nigeria problem is us, because we have not agreed to live together as one people. So tell me, why should a country has indigenous problem? You are indigenous of Imo State, you are indigenous of Anambra State, you are indigenous of Kwara State in one country. Here where I live, even though I'm a black man, I'm a Nigerian, I came here as an adult, I have a German passport, I can say today, I live in North Rhine-Westphalia. I can say I don't want to live in North Rhine, I'm going to, what do you call it now, to Bayern. Nobody stops me. What stops me here? Because of maybe if I want to contest something because of my language, because of language barrier. Otherwise, you are free to do something as long as you are law-abiding citizen. You are free to do it. But in Nigeria, the case is otherwise. In a country, you call yourself one person, one people. So the issue that unless we come down, tell ourselves the truth, what is distorting, what is hindering us from growth is we have not agreed to become one people. Forget about our religion, our languages, but we have not agreed to be one, to live together as one people. Election is coming very, very soon now. You're gonna see a lot of ethnic bigotry, religious bigotry in Nigeria. And then after the election, you come out and blame America, you blame Italy, you blame Germany. No, black people, let us, put our home, let us clean our home, let us put it, orderly. You are talking, look at a Nigerian cannot even go to Ghana. Look at what Ghanaians are doing to Nigerians in Ghana. Look at how even Nigerians pushed away Ghanaians from Nigeria. Ghana must go. And we are here talking about imperialists, destabilizing Africa. No, we are destabilizing ourselves because I don't want to be, delegatory, but I think we lack capacity, some capacity to rule ourselves. To be honest with you, we lack the capacity because otherwise, Nigeria is 65 years old, right? And look at where we are today. So what is, Paul was talking about We are just managing, managing things for them. And then he's right. Tell me why somebody who studied electrical engineering in Nigeria cannot sit down and calculate and develop something for himself or for the village. That person that studied engineering has to go to China or relocate to Japan before he becomes somebody. What is it not the same brain, the same brain he has with an American or a German? So I think there's some issues here. There's some deficiency in a black man. And we have to be honest with ourselves. That is where I'm coming. I will end here. I believe that our problem is not a white man. The problem is in us. We are a problem to ourselves. We don't want to say the truth. The truth can only set us free if we know the truth. Thank you and good night from me.
I really thank you for that. There's very few times I say that you are out of line, but I don't say you're out of line, but I appreciate that point. Shabaka, so what do you make of all these, everything so far? You can, there's these lawmakers in, I don't know whether you know about, I don't think you know about local politics in Nigeria. The lawmakers are trying to sue or impeach a state governor. And Nigerian politics, it's just, to be fair, it's just a little bit rough, a little bit. I can't be asked about them really. But it looks like I'm going to do a second segment, not this one, but a totally new one regarding, what Very Dark Man said. And because it seems to be coming to a head now, and the experiences that iShowSpeed is experiencing in Africa, showing how different parts of Africa are responding to him, and looking at how the French are reacting to Trump's behavior. The whole world seems to be roiling at the moment, and even what Okpara is saying now, I noticed that Shabaka was saying no, we do have a capacity to rule ourselves. You see, I don't think we do though. I am one of those people that hold that opinion. The reason why I say that is because of the demonstration we've demonstrated. We don't seem to be capable of looking other people in the eye and saying, hey, this is for us. We don't seem to be capable of doing that, but we'll have those conversations somewhere else because we don't have a lot of time for this one. But what do you make of this conversation so far? Let me just play the video quickly because I want to show you what is going on in Nigeria right now. Well, so we'll show the video of retired military officers. Let's just play this quickly. It's a quick one.
And we are just managing because the team was supposed to give us, they didn't give us. Yes, sir. We went to Berekete family for so many time. They were carried us to pension office. They said we should wait. Buhari will sign it. After Buhari, Tinubu will sign it. Up to now, we didn't get anything.
So that is rice, some kind of starchy food in a bag. That's what ex-military men are fighting for in Nigeria. They were jostling for it with their press uniform and all the rest. There is no dignity in anything we do anymore. We barely even respect people that lay their lives down for us. Maybe there is something to be said for what Okpara is saying. In my own case, I actually think the reason why we are incapable is because we have not gone through the crucible of fire. We didn't fight for our freedom. We didn't do anything. It was just handed over to us. You can't hand over a property to I did say I'm not going to say anything. Let me leave it. Please say your piece. I'm just saying I sympathize with his point.
Those sentiments, I hear those sentiments a lot though. To me is defeating because you've seen so many precedents set of where our people don't do the correct thing and they don't make the correct measures to obtain autonomy. In my opinion, majority of our people do not want to be autonomous. They don't value it enough. They might say it, but they don't want to put into action the requisite action that is going to take to acquire that. I think that it's time for us that want to be autonomous We need to separate from people that don't. That to me, that's going to be that's really the only solution. And then the people that don't want to be autonomous, when they see that you are successful and you are achieving the things that you set out to, then they'll try to join. The average person is content with just they're content with being just run of the mill, really subjects, and the leaders reflect that. In my opinion, there has to be what happened in China. There has to be a cultural evolution due to colonialism, due to some of our own faults that we've obtained through, I'll say, people call it the Ma'afa, but this period of where we have been colonized and really just conquered. People have adopted the defeatist mentality, and through really brainwashing, our people don't have a lot of self-confidence, and it exudes throughout the way we behave. So until we want to become autonomous, and until we value our own culture, and until we value our own people, we're going to continue to see these bad results. It's not inherently within us, inherently within all of us. Some of us, are inherently just inferior and cowards. But the ones of us that are not cowards and want to be autonomous and want to be in control of our own destiny, we need to galvanize. I'm done arguing with people that have the defeatist mentality, because it's exercise in futility. There's no historical precedent that you're going to show them that's going to convince them that we have active enemies that are in the world trying to impede our progress. They're going to continuously blame us, which we have some culpability. But the thing is, when you have people that want to clean it up, you become enemy number one with imperialists. And people that just want to ignore that, they just don't want to face the real enemy, because they don't have any self-esteem, because they really don't believe that they can overtake them, which that's up to them. But my thing is, we need us that want to be autonomous and us that know we have the capability to govern ourselves. We need to separate and create our own strata and create our own societies and create our own cultures. Those of us that don't, leave them alone. There's no point of arguing with them. We don't have time. Like, we've been doing this over and over again. Anybody that wants to know the solutions, to go read Amos Wilson's bibliography. If you just do that, you all the solutions are there. But it is implementation. We need to stop wasting time trying to convince people that are not going to be convinced.
Amos Wilson. Okay, thank you for that. I really appreciate that, because I think you are correct on that. Jago, what do you make of the conversation and regarding the issue?
It's a good conversation. It's a good conversation, and I think I came on pretty early, and this is 2 hours and 42, and only the second time I'm speaking. I wanted to, which is cool. I wanted to ask Shabaka just a couple of questions, if you didn't mind. Which is like, firstly, you're obviously in the States, I believe. Are you connected on an African level, or are you Nigerian in your background? Can I ask?
No, I'm not Nigerian. I'm not directly. I'm a hodgepodge of all the quote unquote ethnicities that are on the continent.
I'm with you, brother.
Prisoner trade.
I'm with you, my brother.
You are linked to the North.
I'm just quite impressed.
It has to be. It's West and Central Africa. It could Congo all up to the Bight of Benin.
I understand what you're saying, man. What it is, I'm just interested in your interest and knowledge on the African situation, particularly. I mean, obviously you have wider interests, I'm sure. But the fact that you can speak into these issues, I like that a lot, because they are connected in many levels. And for what you say is what many of us have been preaching here, which is to say that we're capable, but many of us have backbone. Many of us are spineless. It's not necessarily a division that can't replace every black man with a backbone. No, it's a thing of time. And I think you're right as to, leave the argument alone. Those of us who think in a certain revolutionary way and believe that we have the manpower, the intellect to bring us through to this present day, as we are far behind as an African continent, as an African world, we're far behind. And not to say that there aren't other impoverished people across the world, and not to say even the nations of the West that believe that they are so knowledgeable. what they suffer, especially the white people of the West, is that they are going to have to learn what we already know. Because it's coming to them and it's going to be tested on them first. It's going to be tested in the West. Whatever's going on in the bigger, wider circumstances of things is going to touch the West first. What it is a country like Nigeria can make things rapid for the West in configuring how Africa would suffer. And we have to do the job of making Africa a safe haven. It's got to become a safe haven for the Black world in particular. And I feel strongly that I know that the little I have to add to the greater scheme of things is of value, what I have in my pocket. And I'm hoping that there are others, as it's been spoken today for some reason where it seems like there are more militant voices coming on and asking for courage, asking for action, telling us that we have the capacity now to do what it is that we have to do now. And I'm hoping that this grows rapidly so that it is the now of the... I do not, as I said, believe that we need any more wasting of time with the 2027 election. And I believe that we as a people who are thinking revolutionary on a really constructive level, I hasten to add that we should be making trajectories over the next, from now till 2027, 2028, 2030, let's say, for us to have things really turned around completely. So that one, we understand ourselves, and two, the world understands who we are. That we're not going anywhere lying down. And I think that we can put this into action. We in the diaspora, we know more than enough to advise, to cajole, even to take positions as governments in any part of West Africa and the Francophone countries to make sense of a galvanization of a strong part of Africa that suggests to the rest of Africa that this can be done. We have to make the example. The example has to be laid down. And I think in microcosm, AES countries has laid down the first example. It is for Nigeria to lead the rest of West Africa, including all Francophone countries, to come under one political, economic, social banner that makes us viable, not to be talked down to. You can't talk down to. You can't.
Yeah.
That is my aspect.
I think I agree with you on that front. If Nigeria can do a little bit of Trump in West Africa, maybe we'll be in a better position and things will start stabilizing, because we don't even have the resources. Like we haven't, there's no manpower to do anything. We have the ability, clearly, if we wanted to. It's not so hard. I don't know why our leaders lack ambition so much.
But I think we've got to stop worrying. You see, I was wondering where you were going when you spoke about we've got to do a bit of Trump, and then you went on to our leaders. I'm saying that, look, brother, it's time to forget about these people. It really is time for us to take our minds away from their fuckery in order to position our energies into what we are going to do collectively. Because nobody's going to do this thing for us. Nobody. I need for us who are on the page of agreement to stop thinking about what it is that they're doing, because they're doing rubbish. I don't know how much more rubbish we need to see from them.
I think you have a point there. You have a point. I guess the idea is to either you become part of the leadership, or have the people that are going to be in the next set of leaders have the similar ideologies as we do.
Yes.
That is very, very important. We start looking into that. Maybe we'll start looking at the candidates that are going to be showing up from now.
Now you're getting me. Yes, brother. Now you're getting me.
Let's bring X0 in. I'm sorry, X0. Long time no see. I forgot that you were there even. I don't know. Maybe because you are way back in the behind the scenes and waiting for me to transgress against you, so you hold that against me. X0, are you still there? X0. Okay, X01, X02, X03, X0 backstage. Thank you, X0. Paul's mind. Paul, you want to say something before we round up?
Not really much. I don't really need to talk much. You see this AES thing that we're talking about. You see one thing with that Ufi always said that how powerful America can be. The Russians and the Chinese can sell whatever things they want to sell for you, but they are not there to protect you and every other thing. So it's really, really hard. For me, I just think like they say, charity begins at home. We can still borrow the Chinese method, close our home. Anything we know that we are lacking, I'm talking from the place of government and every other thing. Go out there, go look for it and every other thing. Because if you work with one, you suffer on the other one. You see, when I watch Piers Morgan, where they say, oh, China is taking over Africa. China built all these nice bridges, railway, hospitals, airports, and every other thing. Because we don't see what America gives to us. Other than rich people just go send their kids to go school in America. And they enjoy their wealth, live their lavish lifestyle in the West. We don't see what they give to us. So why can't we count on China? But if the West also bully us again, the Chinese or the Russians are also not there to protect us. So I think it's time for us to close our door, do the things that we want to do, find something, commodity that we can sell to the world, how we can improve ourselves. Even though if for us to how to understand how we can dig into ourselves within the West African regions, the regional strength, you understand, peace through strength. Because right now, we are not united as Africans. We still need that peace through strength, where Ghanaians don't really want Nigeria. We fail to understand that these are just divide and conquer. These things happen everywhere. Even though growing up, we see the West Coast and the East Coast fights. You understand, the Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. We see all these things. It's everywhere. You understand? So we need to close our door and grow ourselves, invest more money. Some little thing that they can do that can provide, make some businesses strive. I see that when I moved down to Arizona. And these things really, really helped me. Some businesses need to get some good tax waivers, some incentive for this business to grow. Not every business that will start, you understand, that can do well, mostly in an import-driven economy. How do you want to tell me the man who imports something from China very, very cheap, and the person who wants to start from the scratch in Nigeria, they can't compete. They can't compete. You understand? They can't compete. If our Nigerian rice is doing very, very well, then we don't need rice for Thailand. They still smuggle the Thailand rice to Nigeria, where we will call foreign rice is the best than local rice. We just need to invest in our local rice, and our local rice will be the better one. After all, the local rice that is good. It's what they used to make all the so-called Ofada rice and the likes. These are good things. But when people want to start things like that, you give them incentives. You understand? You give some tax waivers, things for them over time, the next 5, 10, 20 years. This thing will strive, you will grow, it will bring growth. Because the West, they are like animal in nature. They will always fight. They will always change the goalposts. If you think you want to place them with the way they want it, if one government change, they will change the goalposts. How do you deal with people who keep changing? You see the way Trump is treating the Machado, the lady who think, oh, if they move Maduro, she's just going to go in. You see what Trump is also saying with the also guy again in Iran, who think, oh, if they come out the Ayatollah, he's going to go in. Trump say, I don't think the people really like you. I don't think the people really know you. They will change the goalposts. Because these people, they need the weakest one of you so that they can use it to control you. You understand? The DEA, America would have sell everything about Tinubu to us when all those questions was coming up. But if Tinubu have a lot of baggage in his hand, they understand that Tinubu is the best person to work with because they can use those things to cut any deals they want. You understand? The French will use Tinubu health to cut any deals they want. They can remote him. You don't know all the chips that they plant in his own body. A military guy said something. He said, if you're a captain in the Nigerian army, as low, just the beginning of what we call senior staff in the military, people are not supposed to even know your family. But Nigeria, every generals, every big man, their kids all school in the West. They don't even school in places like Pakistan, Iran, and whatever. They school in the UK, the so-called America. They all school in the West. That's a level of compromise. You understand? Somebody can use my kids to cut deals for me. I will compromise a whole state, a whole nations, a whole community for my own. Because we all tell ourselves, because of them, that's why we work hard. You understand? Then you see all Nigerian military, you see their wife go to General's Wife Association. You see their family. We actually know their wife, we know their families. They kidnap these people, they do things like that. This is not how things run. You understand? At that level, there's supposed to be some level of security.
Brother, sorry, I don't want to cut you at all, but just to join you, it's the level of data and security that we should have. But, you know, I was wondering if Forefather was recognizing what you were saying is deep in the whole mishmash of how we are not practicing governance at all. Sorry, my brother, just wanted to underline that. Please continue.
I think true. You're right. You're right in all ramification. These are the things we need to do because we've never prepared ourselves. We don't have anything that will make us grow. We still need to go out there to go acquire it. How can we steal some of this technology? The second biggest department in the US is the CIA. Look, America can run all type of documentary how they capture Maduro with 100,000 military men for 20 men and the likes and everything. At the end of the day, somebody snitch on him. He may be the vice president. Any other thing that had to it, it's just documentary for us to use to make movies. Somebody snitch on him, period. You understand? And when we say somebody snitch on him, remember they say they knocked 24 people down. And what did they tell you? They say, oh, some of these strong men are from Cuba. Sometimes they snitch on them. Maybe the so-called Venezuela people are the one who will shoot those Cuban guys down. Maybe. You never can even tell. You understand? They snitch on them. Then they use it to make movies. Look when they take Osama bin Laden down. Oh, they say Pakistan didn't know anything. Oh, we built a modern, super silent helicopter that no noise, no nothing. And when one fell, we destroy it so that they can't steal the technology. My brother, these are all documentary. That is what they want to sell to you. But at the end of the day, they snitch on you. And it is very easy. Nigeria, do you want to even snitch on Nigerian general when their family is already schooling here, living here, enjoy their lifestyle here? No, you cut deals with them. You threaten them. It's as easy as that. You understand? Then they make all this documentary. Then we argue, oh, they use some type of micro technology. The people started vomiting blood. Their head, their things, their that, their this. Where this guy was living underground. How come that same micro wave technology that they use didn't affect Maduro? They affect the wife.
They sold him out. Even any expert that looks into it felt that they sold him out.
Everybody knows this thing, but when you see from the layman view,
I wanted to highlight something to Shebaka when he was shaking his head when Okpara was saying what he was saying, that we are the problem. Because the people themselves, the quality of the mind of the people. Let's say miraculously I'm able to give Nigerians 2 million soldiers, give them military the weapons. You can still find a situation whereby they could still betray the nation. But even with that, this is why I always go in that direction. Even with that, like Maduro now taken away, the country is still strong. If the country truly wants to fight, America will not be able to take him. They were the one that decided that, you know what, take. Maybe that will associate you. After all, the guy wanted to do deals with America anyway. So they sold him out. The one I don't like is the AT1. AT1 is a very, very bad example because when they took out Jovenel Moïse, the country fell apart. And his people were there. Barely anybody got injured. They sold him out again. This is the thing about money. Money, you have to, when you build systems, you have to build it beyond value of money, because if they can offer you money and you can sell, almost all Nigerians will sell as it stands today. Almost all, except somebody that has some kind of ADHD or autism that is fixated on not betraying, that will not do that. Almost all Nigerians, I think, nationally, it's just a matter of the amount. And it's, believing me, the amount they need to offer them is, it wouldn't even push America at all. It's not even going to be up to $1 billion. Nigerians will sell anything. They will sell the whole country. And that is our weakest position. If you cannot kind of get your head around that no matter what they offer in this world, you will never accept to betray your people. If you don't get it to that point, whereby even if they said we're going to your family, everything, they'll blackmail you with your family. You have to be willing to sacrifice everything. See, it's hard. I'm telling you, it's really. This is why I say maybe we are not qualified. Maybe Okpara has a point. Do you think our people are willing to sacrifice everything? Everything, family, everything? No, they are not ready.
No, forefather, you might think so that we're not
I think
ready.
this guy, if you can allow this guy, he wanted to come in. He's a bit polite compared to us. I beg.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Go ahead.
It's good. It's fine. I would just respond to that. I would agree. The thing with Haiti, the result of when Haiti got its independence, that's reflective of our problem. After Haiti got its independence, they let the Polish stay. They let the Germans that came in stay, and then they let the mulatto class stay as well, and they tried to be too nice with them. A problem with us, we there are no consequences for our sellouts. We allow them to fester, and we don't excommunicate them, or there's not any real consequences. The thing that made China's Cultural Revolution so sustainable was they completely got rid of all the collaborators and sellouts. We are not willing to do that. We have not shown the capability of being willing to do that within our own groups of people. The Mao did it, but they weren't able to sustain.
But isn't that the qualification I'm talking about? Because they had the drive. They knew if they didn't do that, they would fail, and they got rid of the collaborators first. That's why I say
the Mao did that. That's what the Mao was trying to do. They just couldn't overtake the British because they didn't have the critical mass.
Yeah, they did try.
You're right. And that is the Taiwan today. That is the Taiwan compared to the Chinese today that they say they are sellouts.
That's where the point of qualification also comes in. Even the ones that tried, if you look at the way they tried, the tools that they used to try, it wasn't enough. You have to study how other people did it, the size of their security forces, the size of our military, and the mindset that they had. You have to study it. If you study it, you notice that Kwame Nkrumah, Sankara, all the ones that tried in Africa were not prepared.
But that's the thing that I wouldn't, but that doesn't lend itself to being incapable. That just means we have a tendency not to observe history and actually analyze it and learn from it. That's the problem. We keep making the same mistakes, and we're not studying history and progressing off the mistakes that we made. It's like you said earlier, our fix is simple. Our people we refuse to learn from history and make the proper precautions,
adjustments,
and adjustments to sustain.
Yeah, and I hope all of us that are here have learned a thing or two about those things. Jide, don't come back here again. It's a closing session. No funny business. Don't even try it.
Father, do you know after our independence, Awolowo was systematically, like you talk about preparation, systematically chase away the British people. It's cool with them. You understand them. You understand? That's why when the British people when the Northern took power, they say never release power. You can give them certain positions like secretaries and the likes for them to help you run your government, make them useful, but never give them power. That's why the Northern hold power, because immediately Awolowo tried chasing them out in places like European Quarter, Papa, GRA, Ikeja. The British people, that's how they start moving to places like Plateau, Jos, a better climate, a better weather.
Let's move the mic to other.
These people talk to Gowon never again to release power to these people, because they understand that the Western and the Yorubas are already vast in terms of education. They can run their people very well, and they see Awolowo traits that Awolowo already sent almost 5,000 people to the UK to go school. So which means they are ready to run the country and at the same time chase these people away, because their intention was not really good. Remember, America systematically forced these people to give independence. That's why all the independence come in the 50s and in the 60s, because America threatened just to enjoy their new empire. So they want to fall other empire. That's how the British and French started releasing people, give them independence and the likes. So when Awolowo tried to chase them, when they put that in, when the Northern take power, they say never, don't release power. That's how the Northern hold on to power. And they hold on to power. They don't even know what to do with power.
Well, to be
This
fair,
thing is what is
they hardly
affecting us
held on
today.
to it. They hardly held on to it.
We don't know what to
Southern
do
and
with
the
it.
northern side have managed to rule the country almost 50-50. But Xero, you are the one I wanted to bring in. Are you there? So you can make your submission because you've been here for a while. So what do you make of everything you've heard? You know, we've got our visa ban now. I don't know whether that is anything to us again. Basically, our visa application is always tedious anyway, at best of times. What do you make of the conversation you've had so far?
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Loud
We
and
can
clear.
hear you, but we can't see you. All. You they wander into the darkness there. We don't know what you are conjuring.
There's light actually, but it's just that I don't think maybe because of the way my computer is.
Hey God, this is what I was talking. It's making us a cliche now. Even when there's light, there's still darkness. Where we
No,
are.
you have to just laugh at those levels. Very funny.
You're welcome. So, what do you make of the conversation?
Yeah, well, I've been here for a while now, just listening. You know, today I just decided to listen. I don't want to interject anybody.
True.
The discussion, I think we've been through this kind of discussion before, where we just talk and talk about our situation. Now, you know, our situation is a very funny one. We always go round and round. When it's time for us to elect a leader that is going to do things for us, you will see some funny people again who come and start saying, don't vote for this one, don't vote for it. I mean, every election cycle, we have opportunity of changing things. But our people, we are just funny people. You know, we're funny people. There's nothing stopping us from changing our country and giving us the pride that we deserve. Because, I mean, if you look at everything, why would America be banning us from coming to America? And why should banning Nigerians from entering the US be a punishment? If somebody says you should not enter their country, well, is that a punishment? What are you supposed to do? You stop them from entering your own country. But because there's no pride anymore, I mean, in a normal situation, are we supposed to be going to a place where there's snow? Eh? Is it good for us? Is this our natural habitat? All these places where there are snow, we know the people who are surviving there. It's not our natural habitat. On the normal, they want to come here to Nigeria. They want to come to our own country because we have everything. But because we have been blindfolded, they take our resources. They pretend like we are the ones who are needing their aids. And they've taken the media to blindfold the whole world that they are the ones catering for us. If you look deep, there's a reason behind their allowing people from Africa to enter their country in the first place. There's a big reason for that because they are still taking. Who are the companies that are investing in our oil? It is them. Do you think they are not stealing from us? Who are the companies investing in all the resources in Africa? Is it African indigenous companies? So they have dipped their hand inside and they have seen that there's no resistance anymore. And they have been there seeing new governments come in. In fact, when new governments go, the funny thing is when new governments come, they go and start looking at all those contracts and collecting money as usual because we don't know what we have. We don't know what we have. We just maintain status quo, believe that, okay, the money is coming from resources. These companies are paying their taxes. We go and look, but they are stealing. Africa is feeding the world from day one, and especially Nigeria and Congo, feeding the world from day one. From day one. So when did it get to this stage that these people who are the major thieves are now banning us? Because we are funny people too. We are funny. We are funny people. If one person begins to talk now, another person will tell him to shut up. The other one will say, your problem is not bigger than you, keep quiet. We are not united. So all these things will continue to happen. It will continue to happen. I don't want to criticize again because I'm tired. I'm just looking at us. The country is very funny now. You have funny people leading you. Your soldiers should be unaliving unnecessarily. Still, those soldiers don't know what to do. Is it that they are not patriotic? In every country where you have funny leaders, it is the soldiers that seize power. We see our own now. They are the ones they are unaliving on the daily basis. So still, they don't know what to do. What is happening? Who is holding them? And lastly, one thing you guys have to know is anytime the people rise up and they begin to use funny things to stop them, the problem is not only internally. Go and look at what happened to Cuba. Go and look at what happened to Cuba. When they were trying to own their country, they have their country to themselves now, but look at all the sanctions today, because they want to have their country to themselves. Look at all the sanctions. So even good leadership doesn't come easy. We have been having bad leaders, and this is the result of, don't underestimate the power of a bad leader. It can stop your destiny. And this is what we are having from time. At the same time, don't underestimate the power of a good leader. It can change everything at the same time and make us progress. But when that good leader comes, it will face backlash from those who don't want you to progress. Like Maska was saying, we're in a time where people will be patrolling. Destabilizing your own country is their own work, so that they will benefit. It's a known US policy. This same US that is banning you, it's a known policy that they should never make any other country rise. It's a policy. Go and look at the Kissinger. Is it Kissinger or its reports? It's a known policy. It's not hidden.
Wolfowitz doctrine, Kissinger's report.
Yes. It's a known policy that they should never let any of these rich countries to use their resources. It's a known policy. That is their doctrine. So I think Nigerians, the funny thing, we need to see the plethora of problems facing us to now be able to navigate, because we cannot just move. It's not a just world. What we are facing, we are facing our problems like it's a just world. If you do the right things will happen. No, the right things they will never happen if you do the right things. What you only have to do is know what to apply, when to apply it, who is against it, and how to block them. We have internal problems as well as external. If you get a good leader, you will face problems from those people whose policy it is that you should never use your resources. Because a good leader is going to come. Once it comes, the corruption will stop. And the corruption is what is holding you together. If you stop the corruption, you will now be finding that those external forces that don't like you will now be finding faults in the good leader. They either sponsor the opposition to take over, or you know how many presidents have been assassinated? I mean, those things will start happening again. So there's no one solution to our problem. Rather, we need to see the plethora of the problems and we have to navigate. That's also what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Jide, because you came back, crashed the entire thing when we were trying to clear out, I will let you have 2 minutes closing remarks. And please go ahead.
Yeah, I think Exeromatra has said it all. And I think a lot of us, I think Shabaka has said a lot as well. Brother Paul has said a lot as well. Like Brother Dragon, as always, they've made some significant points. So there are a lot of interesting things. Like one thing we need to, I want to close with is I think we sometimes, maybe it's my misunderstanding, but I need to talk about it. I think we sometimes underestimate the power of traitors and sanctions. You see, this fight for us to liberate ourselves, it's not a small fight. And sometimes maybe we tend to underestimate the powers of traitors and economic sanctions. Xerox talked about Cuba, and he talked about how Cuba, they were trying to be independent from the US for over 60 years. They've been under economic sanctions. Their infrastructure may not be as good as the United States or like China or like Singapore. But one thing we need to understand about Cuba is that Cuba is still fighting that fight to develop. It is not because of corruption. It's not because of all the problems we have in Nigeria. It's because that fight is still going on. And because of that fight, they still have positive outcomes. Their healthcare is the best public healthcare in the world. No matching it. Their educational system is one of the best in the world, despite and it is free. Universal healthcare is one of the best in the world. In fact, it's even better than that of the United States under sanctions. So that fight is not just, and we talk about traitors. Look at Venezuela. We're talking about Venezuela. Maduro was captured. There was a traitor. And I think that lady that is now the president, I think she was a traitor, but I don't want to talk. I have just 2 minutes. Look at what happened with Iran. That fight is going on in Iran. They were traitors. They were rioters that were funded by Israeli organizations to destabilize Iran because Iran wanted to be like Cuba, to destabilize Iran. And meanwhile, the hardship in Iran is not because of corruption like our country, because our own leaders, they're all criminals. They're drug barons, puppets, they are slaves to the imperialists. But if you look at Iran, they've been under economic sanctions for over 40 years. That sanctions has destroyed their country. That's why they're going through a lot of hardship. But even with that, they are still able to secure their country. So the point I'm making is that we are not even fighting the fight. We can't solve one problem. We're not fighting the fight, though. We are slaves to America and the West. We can't solve one problem. Our security is bad. Our healthcare, look at our presidents. They go outside of the country. You can never hear that Fidel Castro or the current president of DS-Canel. You cannot hear that he went to UK or US to go and treat himself. And they're under sanctions. That's always been my position, that we can't be like India. Because India is a completely different country with a different dynamic. We can't be like India. You see, we can't be, for India to do what they are doing, they have to do some strategy. I don't want to go talk about India. Look at what's going on between India and Pakistan. I don't want my country to be like that. They have nuclear weapons against each other. I don't want my country to be like that. They are going to be having nuclear weapons against Ghana. No, I don't want my country to be like that. But the point I'm making is, at the end of the day, we need to start that fight. Because when we start that fight, we will now start making progress. But we've not even started at all. And it's quite unfortunate. But yeah, we need to not underestimate the power of traitors. We have traitors among ourselves. Our leaders are our traitors. Even among regular people, there are traitors. There were traitors among us. That was why they were able to lobby Donald Trump to come and attack our country. Donald Trump didn't wake up one day and say, hey, Nigeria, I love Nigeria. No. They were lobbies. They were traitors among us, among all of us here. That decided to do what they did. What they did with Maduro is because they are traitors. Look at Russia. Why is Russia still standing? Because their traitors have been subdued. You think it was a joke? Look at the war Russia been fighting with this West for over 100 years. That fight is still going on up till now. But you know what they've been able to do? They've been able to filter and purge out all their traitors. Thanks to Stalin and all the others. But if our traitors are the ones in power, and our traitors are among us, we can't differentiate them. That's why we keep demonizing ourselves. There are good people among us, but the good people need to rise against those traitors. And we need to know that for us to develop, it's going to be through struggle and war. It's not going to be like Germany. But I'll stop there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I have to, no matter that I am kind of ideological, I don't care too much about ideology. I just care about what works for the people. But I have to give it to the Russians. They are one of the most stubborn people to subdue. And I'm not even sure anybody has managed. Maybe Genghis Khan managed to succeed once. And they are, whenever I was watching a Russian show, they are talking about how Venezuelan military sold their commander-in-chief out. And when the guy was saying that they were going to win, anybody that tries to do that to Russia, they will always lose. When he said it, you can believe him, because generation after generation have tried to conquer Russia and they failed, from Napoleon to Hitler. Not that they didn't try, they fought, they put everything they have to take Russia, because Russia is like a, that large land that has everything that you need as an empire. Everybody wants to conquer it, but they fail. To the point where Russia even burnt their own capital down just to make sure, just to spite their enemies. So these people have like an innate drive to protect themselves. As a matter of fact, they didn't have a choice, because everybody wants to invade them all the time. So they just have it. When they say they want to fight, they are ready to fight. Funny enough, I was watching CNN report the other day. Trump was talking about the Venezuela issue. Then he just cut for somebody. He just cut into the Russian. He said it's not like Russia that just goes on fighting all that. I was like, he's quite right about that. The Russians, they don't see any problem. We just keep fighting forever. They make it
that makes me laugh, because it's America that keep fighting and fighting and fighting. Go look for trouble. Go bully people. But they hate the fact that Russia is ready to say, whenever you're ready, we're ready.
We're going to fight forever. Just keep fighting. So I think that kind of mindset, we have to have that kind of mindset. The kind of link where you mindset, the poison shrimp mindset, whereby even if you're not strong enough, but be prepared that you should defend yourself with all you've got. That is the mindset of Link YU. That is a very good way to start for Nigeria, because we don't have all the might right now. But you have to have that mentality that you are trying to do your best for your people. You are not looking for trouble, but if you want my trouble, I will give you double. I'll give you triple. So that is how Link YU approached its national security posture. Today, they are one of the richest countries in the world. They are prospering. They are living very well. So this world doesn't reward weak people, and this is where I agree with Macron. I don't agree with Macron on a lot of things, but he was right on that. And France is coming out. When I saw France today, when I just watched some of this, France is not. People underestimate France because of America, but if America steps backward, you're going to see France start becoming more and more muscular. If you didn't know better, I've never seen France like this before. Let me just show some of these images. Because France is beginning to feel like, okay, America has gone crazy. We have to settle scores here. So this was after he had sent troops to Greenland and talked about nuclear this thing, and said no, nations are not rewarded by not being prepared and being weak. And he talked about their nuclear deterrent and all the rest of it. This guy, and he has the power to take it to America. People forget that France is an independent nuclear power, and with more than 70 nuclear power stations that have been running forever, they have so many fissile materials to build many bombs if they wanted to. So they are a very, very strong nation. This is why they are able to put down West Africa all the time. People just think they are a joke. They are not a joke. And they have power in America too. They have very, very strong links with America. Remember, they helped America fight for independence. So they have already legacy, establishment institutions in America already. So it's a very, very powerful country. But we'll watch this space. And based on everything we have seen right now, I don't know where Tinubu stands, because sometimes when you're in the middle of progress,
you know those things that France did with the UK. It's also did with the US over the UK. For the France, I'm hearing myself.
Okay, let me mute it. Go ahead.
So those things that France did, France was fighting England for over 100 years. So they tried to support the US and every other thing. And that thing that they did then, it really, really helped them with the US, also with the deal with the Louisiana and every other thing. But to just oppose that thing, after everything, now those days now, those has come and gone. But the real problem now is that France and England still have not resolved that issue completely. The day France and England will put that thing behind them, England supposed to have good relationship with France than in the US, so that they can take Europe back. You understand? But if France is pushing, you see, United Kingdom just lay back to some extent, and it's not supposed to be like that.
The dynamics in Europe is that America and France can twiddle their, do their up finger to England when they like, but at the same time, if France wants to become more independent, UK doesn't want that at all. In terms of when France wants to become more independent, it's not like UK hates France, but because France is more friendly to Russia, France doesn't have the visceral dislike of Russia that the UK does, because the UK is the one that feels that if Russia becomes more powerful, the UK will be less powerful and America will be less powerful, because UK believes that they have more influence with America than France does. So
that is true.
Technically, UK is America is a colony of France once. Colony of America. So
because if France build that bond with UK, easily Germany will get their power back, because it's America that is oppressing Germany. Germany have the possibility to grow faster than the way they are. You understand? But certain things that they restrict them from doing.
At the heart of it, the problem of Europe is technically the UK. If the UK says, and maybe they should be a problem, because if they are not,
that's the seller that we're talking about.
All of them coming together. See, if the UK is not busy spoiling against Russia, because if the UK says, you know what, fine, Russia become the superpower of Europe, I don't care, you will see Russia emerge, become the most powerful country in the world easily. Because Russia is sitting China on the right or left, and the Western Europe, in short, the entire Europe on its right, and having access to the Levant and everything, the whole world, Russia will rule. They have the resources, they have the manpower to be able to do it, and they have the will to do it. So, but the UK doesn't want that, and that's what led to that Mackinder thesis, and that's what they've been executing. That's what's been causing all this chaos all the time. And but it appears Trump wants to flip it to an extent. This is what is triggering a lot of crazy alarm bells in Europe. They don't want that. They don't want Russia to come in. They are scared of Russia.
Now Europe is even scared more than the US now, than even Russia now.
Oh yeah,
the way Trump is going.
The US is not worried. It's the Europe that is more pissed now. Europe is so angry. I mean, as a matter of fact, France is very angry because they fear that for what they've done to Russia recently, Russia might come at them very, very badly. Because remember, it's not Trump that engineered that war with Russia. It's the Democrats. So, and now suddenly Trump is coming to pull their floor, whatever they call it, pull their leg, whatever they call it. So he's trying to pull the rug out of their feet and from underneath their feet. So they are feeling a little bit vulnerable right now, and it's beginning to be like they want to defend themselves. They are talking military action against America. That's crazy. We think that is unheard of. These people are crazy. They will fight. They will go against America. You'll be surprised.
Honestly, where we would not expect the Third World War to happen would not be where it may now happen. It may now be among them.
I think you're right.
China, you'll be surprised. It's these crazy Europeans again. They start fighting each other again.
But that's a laughing stock now. Why would they send 50 soldiers to Greenland? That don't make any sense.
No. He said that they are sending more. They are sending more. By now, they have more. They are sending ships and everything, nuclear submarines and all. So they have all those ships already. Can you imagine? Even France has got nuclear submarines. That's what they were looking to use to bribe India to come into their alliance. They want to give India nuclear submarines, something that they would not even offer any African country ever. Because our leaders don't even have ambition. They don't even ask for anything. Forget it, Jared. Let's round up. This week is for
Father, we get blood of Jesus. We get blood of Jesus. Africa.
It will come to this thing. So let me thank all the people that have come to view. Kolata, I saw you there today. I don't know where you crawled out from, but it's all right. Sometimes people have to come out and see the sun after living in the darkness for a while. Kolata, Kenriba, I see you there. AB, I see you there too. All the people in the chat. None of you donated today, though. Yeah, there's an election coming up. You want us to do better, you won't donate. All these people that come here to view this, to come and contribute and discuss these things, they are contributing honestly. Not all these people that you see on TV that you listen to. Many of them, they are constrained. They can't tell you the truth. They won't tell you the truth. The people that come on this panel, they are speaking their mind. Nobody is telling them what to do. Some of them, the matter that they say crazy things, but they are speaking honestly. And some of them are highly educated and highly experienced. All those guys you see on TV, they may be educated, but they're not going to tell you the truth. What is the point of being educated if they're not telling you the truth? If they hide the truth away from you, you're not going to see anything. The channels you should be supporting are channels like this that are discussing the issue openly. And I really hope they keep it open, because sometimes I feel like when channels want to grow, they want to start becoming like establishment channel. What is the point? You are recreating the same machine that has kept the masses out of power for a very long time. As a matter of fact, it's happening all over the world now. The masses are becoming more and more powerless. Look at Trump. He put most of the money in Qatar now. It's like, well, how about the people? I thought you went and got oil money for America, but now it's in this thing. This is the name of the game. They're just enriching themselves. This is why the West is falling behind China. Why is it that the West that was ahead of China is almost as if they are far behind China now? China is developing so fast ahead of them because they are busy stealing money and putting it in the hands of the elite instead of investing in their countries, building their countries to advance the people. And what do they call it? They're investing in the people, isn't it? Instead of them to be doing that, they are busy enriching themselves. And they are still doing it. And that's corruption. And no wonder people are saying their empire is falling. That is how empires fall. Because you're not building your people. You're not building your country. You're busy building the elite only. Corrupt practices. The West is corrupt. It's just that they are so powerful and rich. That's why it looks like it's not showing right now. And why? That's why China is rising above them, because China is not that corrupt yet. China is still building for the people by and large. My God, the thing those people are building is mind-boggling. They built more than 6 miles of tunnel under a river. And they did it in such a way that they said the river, you're going to be able to see the water from the tunnel. And they did it in less than 100 and something days. Like, not even a year. They are on a different level. They are on a different level.
Chinese are like machines.
And this is, when I see them doing this, I say, this is what our leaders should be thinking. They're like, go and hire some of their construction people. Come and build rapidly for us. Pay them what you need to pay them and have our people learn from them. That is the kind of things you should be doing. But you don't see our leader doing this. If anything, Trump threatens them one day with attacking Sambisa Forest. They just run back. They don't want to attend the G20 summit again. They don't want to attend the BRICS meeting anymore. Our leaders, they are so scared. It's really funny.
Father, do you know the things that the Chinese is using to do all those things? These are the things that the Chinese do. Take, for example, now, if we Nigeria say we want to do these things, we need to go buy the material. Then if there is sanction, then you can't get the material. You understand? So these are the things. That's why I said you can go out there, you can spend your best brains, you can go steal technology, you can do anything so that it will end up become what we call homegrown. If you don't have what you need as an homegrown, you cannot grow. You understand? What survived the Cuba to some extent? They send guys out to go be doctors, make revenue and bring it back home. They use it to survive. You understand? They help other South American countries and the likes with medicine and the likes. It becomes revenue that they take back and every other thing. So these things can still help. You understand? So we must do all those things. We must do that homegrown. We can't run away from it.
Thank you. Shabaka, I really appreciate you for coming in. Paul, thank you for staying with us today. And Jide, and coming back to crash in, I really appreciate you. Jide, you are doing, I really appreciate the work you are doing in the geopolitics. Keep digging deeper. Find out all those things that they don't want us to know.
Jide, all the books you read, all the books are older than you.
No. And it's getting better and better. And keep digging because we need this our knowledge. If I have the time, I will dig to anybody that is here. Let's dig deeper because there are things you're going to find that is going to clarify things for our people and increase our resolve to do the right thing. So thank you all for joining me, gentlemen. And we are going to go and play our cultural music and songs so that some people can see some of the rich culture that is in Nigeria. And Yoruba is one of the richest that you can find. You can't accuse Yoruba of not being very rich in culture. When you see a Yoruba man in their natural habitat You can't you can't mistake them. The value culture very, very important, and one of the richest in Nigeria. And Nigeria has abundance of these cultures, and we're going to be playing them. And finally, we'll be playing the Nigerian collage together, kind of blend everything together. Because Nigeria is quite a fantastic country if we get it right. It's a fantastic country. So let's meet tomorrow for the show that Dr. Damages will be hosting. There will be a guest. I can't remember the name. I think it's the professor is coming in tomorrow, and it should be around 5 o'clock, 5:30. So join us and contribute to the channel. You know, you guys go to church. I'm sure you guys are contributing to your churches. Remember to contribute to the channel, because the Dr. Damages needs to be able to do a lot of projects. Some of the projects include sending people on the ground to actually investigate things that we are discussing here, ascertain the truthfulness of things, maybe even talk to some of our lawmakers and find out what the real bottleneck is, where the real problems are. You know, sometimes we talk about these things, we don't really touch the people on the ground. It's almost as if we're living totally different lives and operating in totally different dimensions. So we need to try to bridge this gap, and to do those things, you need the resources. So people, try to marshal your pockets and contribute to this channel, and let's make some actual progress on the ground. And the time is coming now. The election is going to be due soon. So it will be quite good for us to have a good resource base to be able to fund anything. No revolution, no reform can occur without the resources. And there was a topic we did about that some time ago. So the resources are essential. So thank you all. Till next time, catch you guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Ayérayé Olódùmarè, ọba mi gbangba yípo padà, ọba mi gbangba lára. Òjò wìnìwìnì balẹ̀ gbogbo ilẹ̀ á sì tutù bí ojú òwúrọ̀. Mo ṣèbà Elédùmarè tó láyé rárùn. Àtọ́rí aláìsùn wọ́n ṣe ni ọba tí ń gbẹ́kú ẹni lódìndín. Ṣé bí wà ló fọ̀rọ̀ dálé ayé o? Kábíyèsí rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni, iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni, iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni, ọba mi á fìrì gbọ̀ngbọ̀n.
Orí adé tọmọdé tàgbà ní dáríjọ tí bọ̀gún àràbà bó bá ti di lọ́dọọdún. Ayé àmọ́ dáríjọ wá pínrẹ fún yín ní orí adé ó bàbá mi àgbógbógbó fèwú sókè, kò sí ohun tí ó sọ bá ẹ ní kú mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Àwa máa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni o. Àwa máa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni. Àwa máa forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni o. Àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni, ẹ̀yin lẹ mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú. Àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni, ẹ̀yin lẹ mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú. Àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni, ẹ̀yin lẹ mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú. Àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni. Kábíyèsí o.
Dàbí rẹ̀, ta ló dàbí rẹ̀, nínú gbogbo alágbára ta ló dàbí rẹ̀, Olúwa, ta ló dàbí rẹ̀. Dàbí rẹ̀, ta ló dàbí rẹ̀, nínú gbogbo alágbára láyé. Ta ló dàbí rẹ̀, Olúwa? Ta ló dàbí rẹ̀?
gbogbo ilẹ̀ á sì tutù bí ejò òwúrọ̀. Mo ṣe bá Ẹlẹ́dùmarè tó